What's up, people?
Can you guys hear us?
You YouTubers, 9 of you, all 9 of you.
I got 20.
Oh, all 20 of you.
Did it dip down?
I don't know. Mine just says, oh, top chat 9. Okay, so whatever that means.
Maybe that should be a contest. Find Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, Mrs. Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
Cool Mama Slick
Cool
Breeze.
Mama Slick Breeze.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
That's what Chris says.
Hold on. Well, everything.
Yes, audio is good.
Oh, okay, so maybe just took a
Very
minute.
quiet. It's just a very mixed of...
I know some people say it's too quiet. Some people say it's just fine.
Well, there's like a knob on everybody's radio.
Yeah, there's still like a volume knob. I mean, I've got this practically cranked up.
Crank it up.
I can't crank it too much. Otherwise, it's going to be really loud in our ears.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's like really loud.
Oh, my.
One of
very,
these
very
times
loud.
I'll sit down and figure this stupid thing out.
Audio isn't quiet. Sounds fine, says Conrad.
What did you say, Robert? What did he say? You need to know how to do it.
All you know how to do is make it echo.
That's fair.
That's all you need to know. Really.
That's all you need. Ooh, dang, wrong one.
Ooh, no.
Wait, this is a microphone.
I hear air. You hear the buzzing?
That's what drives me. nuts.
Yes.
Now do we have?
I
Yes.
have already signed
We have
that.
already signed it.
But thanks.
You want echo?
Input.
See, it's fun.
It's not bad. Robert, what does he know?
My other favorite is this one. Every weekend down at
Oh,
Don't you like that?
that's a good.
I know.
That's an okay one. That one is not bad. Yeah, I'll sign that one again.
In a world full of
Vampires.
a world full of vampires with no teeth. What will they suck? Oh, no.
Whoa.
Whoa,
Wait a
hey.
minute. This is PG.
Okay, we're back to normal. See, I think it's too loud. Or
There's
too
a
much-
buzzing.
Robert, did you listen to the video I sent you?
All right, let's see
I
how
did.
that sounds.
I didn't hear a lot of it, but I did hear the word boner.
That's all you
Whoa.
We are live.
Are we?
Yes.
Yep, been live for about 10 minutes.
That's okay. You didn't know. I thought I'd said it out
That
loud.
was, but that was part of the video that Danny sent over that we're gonna edit.
No
oh,
chance
now
of
we
that,
know why
Chris.
that we
It was
didn't
on Luck
edit
of the
it.
Draw?
Unfortunately, they are all gone.
but I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure it was immortalized before I cut it in.
Oh, was it in the GBO one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Danny is, for some context, Danny is editing the Glassbone Open Luck of the Draw. And he is having to edit out some choice words. Some that we just went over.
Hey, so are we live or?
We are live. We have...
I know that now.
We have...
Yeah.
we have
There was a little bit of that yesterday in a video. I told you about it. The auctions video.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It seems that the hot sauce made people lose a little bit of their
Yes.
Tact.
tact, dignity.
Yes. Well, I still had my dignity. Just
Hello.
What do you...
I know, Chris.
Oh,
I'm
you're
sorry.
listening to us?
You are, or am I?
You are.
Oh.
Or maybe I am.
Maybe both of y'all are.
Video. Hold
I'm-
on just
I
a
am not
second.
anymore.
Mikael? All right, so I had to wait till Robert sat down so I could see. Robert, can you scoot down that way just a bit?
I can't.
Thank you. I'm going to see if I can create a decent split screen.
Trips. You could just come sit over here. I'll just be over here.
Still create a split screen though.
Yeah, of course.
Why did I like all of a sudden forget how to do this?
It's been a long time, I guess.
Oh, here we go. Split screen. All right, 3. Move
2,
me there.
1.
Move Berto there. I'm going to look like a giant.
Gigante.
There. That's going to look weird. this is how we're keeping it, folks. So you're just gonna have to put up with it.
We could just do the picture.
The picture.
Just use the
Oh,
picture.
yeah, just yeah.
It's pretty much what we look like the whole time.
Yeah, I mean,
Eric, very serious.
mhm.
Me, smiling kind of like an idiot. Bobby pointing at the camera.
Yeah.
Standard.
Standard.
So this feels weird having the microphone up like that, but I'm gonna go with it.
I'm going to go with it too.
Oh, just to make me like I feel like I fit in.
No.
I am
Oh.
not.
I'm definitely going to switch from this, but
Yeah, because it's
but
like
look
right
how-
in your face.
but look how cool it looks.
How you have to look up when you do it.
Uh-huh.
All right, YouTubers, now you can see us. We got the split screen. It's not the most attractive split screen, but it is what it is right now. What?
I like how
It
we're
is,
all
in
like
fact-
at an angle.
It is, in fact, not the most attractive split
No,
screen.
it looks way bad.
It could be worse.
Oh, man. What a joy. That's funny.
Wildcat Disc Golf, yes, the lack of draw.
The lack of draw and
Lack of
That's
the
a new one
draw.
we could do where like you do nothing and it's just called lack of the draw.
When nobody shows up.
Yeah,
eh,
yeah.
just a
Welcome to the
video.
lack of the draw.
Lack of the draw, you buy raffle tickets, but nobody draws them.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, we did. Danny went down to
And you
Bowling
just
Green
watch Eric play.
Yeah.
and
Let's
recorded
do
the
this.
luck
I'm
of the draw.
interested.
He's done editing, but we're gonna put some commentary over it because no one was there to commentate while it was happening. So we'll do that. I'm at a bar watching the Barca versus Liverpool game. Still watching the game.
Nice.
Nice, thanks. Live dynamic, live dynamic. Bobby didn't get the shirt color memo. I know. What's the deal, guys? Red.
Mhm. Red.
Yeah, come on, man.
Red.
I
Red
mean,
and
I
blue.
don't know
though.
that I have
You
a
weren't-
red
you
one.
Red
weren't
and
in the
blue are
group
good
chat?
colors.
No, I was not.
This is. I don't remember where I got this. This is an older one. It's a Nike.
Our camera is having trouble focusing.
Is it having trouble focusing or is it?
Or is it? I think it's.
It might be. It could be.
Oh, yeah, that light behind your head.
Yeah, you can see that in the frame.
I know, but there could be all kinds of studio no-nos.
I'm telling you, we just need to go back to green screen. Put whatever we want behind us.
I'm down with green screen. I need to.
Is it really not focused?
It's better now.
Is it crisper now?
Yes.
I'm going to turn it off.
Okay, let's turn it off.
Which makes it darker.
Oh yeah, because we won't need any. We won't need focus throughout. I don't plan to move a lot.
I'm not going to move at all
Mr. McCabe, will you be at Junior Worlds?
for a day.
One day, Malachi. I know it's Malachi, but come on, man.
One day I'll be here, and then I fly to Alaska.
Now you.
I'm sure.
Oh, yep. It definitely just got a lot darker.
Mike Nickel. I love you guys. Just crack me up when you say, "Have you ever thought about doing this?" Of course we have. Of course we have. But it just doesn't work out that way all
This
the
is just
time.
part of the fun
Yes.
beforehand.
Bed sheet.
Have you guys ever thought about having cameras?
What?
Have you guys?
Do I
ever
need to
thought-
scoot even farther?
Not yet.
Okay.
That is the charm of Disc Golf Answer Man. You are part of the process.
Trust the process.
What's the white noise in the background?
I don't know.
Same as it always has been.
Yeah.
I mean, I can turn this down to. There's still some hiss, but then they won't be able to hear.
Well, yeah. I mean, they need to be able to hear.
So
Mike, I'm aware
there you
that
go.
I'm not centered. We're figuring it out right now. I do need to scoot more toward Eric, and Eric needs to scoot a little bit more toward the light switch, though.
right, see, that's why.
There's a light switch.
On the wall.
Let me go hang out over there.
Anything
kinda
else,
like-
Mike?
I kinda like
Anything you
chilling
can do
over-
make the show right for you?
over here.
Just kidding. I know. Kidding. I love you, Mike. You're my best. You're my bestie.
Noisy preamps. That's what they say.
We're gonna go back to just audio and no more video.
Getting an adjustable camera. This camera is adjustable.
The laptop is not plugged into anything that would be an audio source.
Are we still bored into power strip?
No.
This is straight into the wall now?
Straight from the wall to a cord,
Right.
but it's not a strip.
All right.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Are we?
We got
According
only,
to the viewers,
Brandon,
or not.
I know. Yeah.
only video, no audio. That may not be the case anymore, but it was at one point.
No, he thinks that's what we should do. Because
Ah.
I said only video.
Oh, yes. So you can't hear what we're saying? I respect
you're
that.
just gonna see us.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So here's kind of the thing we have to wrestle with, is because this studio is also a place where we do other video projects. So we're constantly moving stuff around, and so every time we got something set up, we got to readjust for other things. So, and we don't have a whole lot of room for
Activities.
We don't have a whole lot of room to really set up this studio the way I want to. I
Yeah.
would like to. So let me bring up Speak Pipe. We will begin
Low audio, is that?
the show.
There is audio, but it went down low.
That's because I tried to get rid of some of the.
Oh,
Hiss.
yeah. Gotcha.
Now they're gonna be. Oh, there's hiss.
Yeah. Hey, where's the hiss? How come there's hiss now?
All right. We're just going to have to roll with it.
This is driving me nuts now.
Well, yeah.
You got to know when to fold 'em. Know when to hold 'em.
It's the
Would
other
this
way.
be better?
It's the other way around.
No,
Does that get rid of the?
it does not.
Is that a good preamp?
Yeah.
What about this one? That's probably good. Isn't it?
That'll work.
I hate this.
Maybe this one.
No. No.
Does this one have too little reverb?
Bzz.
Whoa! You like that?
Hmm.
Yes.
I bet you did.
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
Cool.
Wow, that is much more than before.
Yeah, it is much more than before. I wonder, this is saying, and this may not be true whatsoever, but if we gain up the microphones a little bit and then turn down the overall volume, that might help.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's test that up. No, it's about the same.
See, it's amplifying whatever the.
Yeah.
Who's this mic?
I'm probably 3, yeah.
That's you. Are you near something that's causing it to?
But it's not. Look. It's present whether microphones are plugged in or not.
But that's much less of a buzz now.
Yep.
At least in my ears.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean,
It's
there's
there.
obviously the hiss from that, but there's much.
Right.
There's
How, oh, hey, what's up? I'm really loud now.
Yes, you are.
Test. Well, if you want to keep us all that loud, then you could just turn down the main a little bit. That might help. Test.
There's still got a little bit of buzz in there, but it's definitely something.
Nah, we'll roll with it.
Whatever was
We're
there
the
is
disc
a
golf
little
answer,
left.
man. The only buzz you need.
All right,
That could be our
so
slogan.
here we go.
No? Okay.
All right, ready? We're gonna record.
Yeah, let's record.
I suppose.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Eric Redshirt McCabe,
What's up?
Robert Redshirt
Hey,
McCaw,
sup?
What's up?
Bobby wore a blue shirt. So
Oh gosh, that's so embarrassing.
I am the odd ones out. You guys ever watch the YouTube channel Odd Ones Out?
No.
I've showed you
yes,
before
yes,
with the
yes,
cartoon.
I forgot about that.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's pretty funny. You need to check that out. He's got like 4 million subscribers, I think, maybe more.
That's it?
It's
About
very.
4 million, yeah.
It's
couple
very.
less than
Yeah,
We've got-
Danny wants it. Huh?
So a couple less than we have?
Just a couple. Yeah, he's trying to catch up. So.
Okay, fair enough. You trying to give him a shout out so we can
Right, trying
get
to
over
help him
that.
out. Right,
Get
get
over
over
Pardon me. What?
So anyway, we are here with the Disc Golf Answer Man show. Let's see.
Still pretty quiet.
My
they say.
my apologies for getting the after Glassbone Open episode out late, but I got that out late, so I apologize. Hopefully you're able to. If you listen to our show via the website, I did not put this on the website, so make sure you subscribe on Spotify or iTunes or another podcast app, because I did put Johnny V from Smashbox gave us, what did I say?
Not
No,
you.
no,
you're
no,
good.
no, no, no.
Do I even want to look at the comments?
No,
Yeah.
you're good.
That's funny.
It's
Yeah,
funny.
Go
It's
ahead.
good. Yeah.
He gave us the audio of the GBO PDGA Pro Panel.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
so if you want to hear the questions
Nice.
that were asked and answered, you can listen to that. So it should have gone out
Yeah.
this morning.
Focus more on the ones that were
Which would've been a
asked, because
Tuesday.
that was probably the best person on the stage. Was the person asking the questions,
Right,
not
right.
not the ones answering.
That was the true entertainment.
Yes,
Just
that's what
just
everyone
show
came
the
out for.
questions if you put a video out.
Just
Don't show the answers.
We've made
just the questions.
we've made a highlight of the GBO Pro panel, and it's just me asking.
it's just you asking questions.
perfect.
Man, how great!
Anyway, so what else we got going on? So what's going on, guys? I didn't play any disc golf this weekend. The media
me
team
either.
took an extended weekend so we could recoup from GBO. I know that everybody except me played some disc golf.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't play any disc golf?
No disc golf for me this weekend that I can remember. No, I didn't.
No, I spent time with family and friends.
I bought a truck.
You bought a truck, a nice new. Oh, can we tell what it is?
Sure.
20. What did you say? 2019.
2019 Ram Bighorn.
Little Hemi.
Little Hemi.
Hemi.
Pretty sweet.
Hemi
It is
for you.
nice. I dig it.
And it's now he has 2 murdered out
I do.
vehicles. They're
An
both black
Element.
on black.
Yep.
Black on
An
black on
Element
black.
and the Ram.
Yeah,
Pretty sweet.
nice.
And Robert played some golf this weekend.
Now
What's up?
Robert played some golf. Before we get to Robert, though, I think
Let's talk Danny's disc golf
Danny
first.
played-
Danny played some good disc golf. this
Well,
weekend.
do we talk about your disc golf, Anthony, at all? Should we?
Did you play Anthony?
He played. So.
Anthony came to
Cool.
a practice round with me, and we tossed around. But he
Nice.
caddied for me this weekend.
Oh, you didn't play in the event?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I thought you played in the event. Okay, so then Danny had no plans to play any competition disc golf and decided to play in the Kansas
Kansas.
Kansas Crush.
Kansas Crush
Was that in Ottawa?
Yeah.
Is that right?
and tied with.
So,
oh, go ahead.
Before you go on, I
Yeah.
watched a video that Scott Reek put out. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was him, but it was his page, the Trilogy
Trilogy Talk or whatever.
Trilogy Talk page
Okay, yep.
about Isaiah. What's up with those tee pads over there?
They're really small.
They are
Are they-
very bizarre. They're like triangle shaped.
They were like 3 feet long and a foot wide at the back.
3
Yes.
feet long, a foot
Yes,
wide.
they're a
in the
foot
back.
wide at the back, and 3 inches at the front because they go to a point.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
They just teed off from the grass next to it.
Yeah, I saw that, but I was just curious. I wonder how that
I
ever.
don't think the people who installed that course were disc golfers.
Fair enough.
Right.
Interesting.
So-
but
Yeah.
great
Danny
play.
had a good weekend.
It's a fun course.
He tied for first went into a playoff with Isaiah Esquivel.
Yep.
Team DD member, and I don't know why he didn't, give a poor young guy a break, but
I know, right?
apparently Danny likes to beat up on young kids.
14-year-old boys.
No, he won in a playoff. So
Yeah,
good job, Danny.
We'll lose to him plenty, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. There's
Um,
going to be plenty of losing to Isaiah in
Yeah,
the
oh, yeah,
next
for sure.
10,
Yes.
15 years.
And then
Um,
Robert, you played in the
But
event.
Hold on,
Oh,
let's roll it
oh,
back just for a second. So
Yeah.
Danny shot 980 something the first round,
977.
977 you said, and then second round
Murdered.
popped off in the 1040s.
Was it a
so-
career high?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Sup-
Career high.
Super solid round. That's awesome. So yeah, go to the playoff. parks the first hole, get that W. You said first in a little while, right, Danny?
Yeah.
Nice to be back on the old winning train. Congrats, man. That's super cool.
So then Robert went and played.
Yes, I went to King of the Canyons
Yes.
in at Delwood Disc Golf. The Canyons is up there in Lockport, Illinois. One of my favorite courses I've played. I went up to Clash of the Canyons with Anthony and Kevin last year, and we played that when it was an A tier. But this was like an invitation only, kind of like a bracket style tournament. So we started off with 38 players.
Mm-hmm.
First round, everybody plays. Top 20 scores move on to the next round. Bottom 18 are eliminated. You're done. Then scores reset. And then it's just another 18 holes. 20 people play. Top 10 advance. Then scores are washed. Brand new round. 10 play, 5 advance. And then those 5 go to a final 9. And so first day I played really solid. I tied for the hot round of 46. There's a few of us. And there was like 5 people sitting at 51 who were going to have to all play off for one spot because they don't take more than 20. But then a 48 from the last card came and wiped all of those people off. And then second round, I shot 1 off the hot. There was 53s, and I shot a 54. And then the third round, Mike Conley and I, Mike's Latitude sponsored guy, we tied for the last spot. We both still had a stroke to give. We both shot 50s, and 52 was the next best score. But made it into the final 9, and kind of everybody struggled a little bit in the final 9. We didn't play nearly as clean as we had leading up to that time.
That happens. That
Yeah.
tends to happen.
Well, and the thing is, like, all right, so in the morning, we top 10 get paid, so everyone who played on Sunday got paid. 10th place was like $200, 6th place was like $600. So, like, great.
you're
know?
making money.
Yeah, you're making money no matter what. But if you make the final 9, minimum $900, max $2,500. So there's a lot of money at stake, and I think that's kind of the first time some of us had really thought about that. I hadn't really. I just wanted to make Sunday, and then hopefully I play well after that. So yeah, I missed a couple of putts that I feel like I should make, circle's edge or so, and then threw out of bounds once. But everyone just kind of made a mistake or two.
And the final 9 was on video, correct?
It was, yeah,
That's what I thought.
yeah. You'll be able to see all the missed putts and mistakes.
Can't wait.
But yeah, so it came down to the end, and I was in a 3-way tie for the win. Me, Dan Schlitter, and Kyle Opfer, both guys that I just met this weekend, both fantastic dudes. Played several of my rounds with Dan, and that was really fun. He's just a cool guy, really fun to play with, really, really good player. And then Kyle and I only played the final 9 together. And he's a recent Discmania pickup. Dan is a Discraft guy. So we decided to split the money for first instead of having like a $1,000 swing from third to first. We all split and took home $2,025 per person, which is by far my largest disc golf payout for a weekend.
If you hadn't split it, what
What was the breakdown for top
It was
three?
it was right around 2,500, 2,000, 1,500, something close to that. Within
So guaranteeing to take home $2,000 as opposed to maybe losing by a stroke
yeah,
and taking 500 less than that.
right.
Makes sense to split it.
That's what I think. And I mean, ultimately, I lost in the playoff to Kyle. He hit this probably about 40 footer downhill. Well, maybe not downhill, but water about maybe 30 behind the basket, but only about 12 will stop your putter.
Mhm.
Past that, it's guaranteed in the water, 100%. And he just jammed it. And I had one right around circle's edge that I just left too high and, lost in the
Nice.
playoff. But it was super cool. That was on our second hole. We all birdied the first, and that was awesome. So at that point,
Was
though,
it sanctioned?
no, not sanctioned.
I didn't know if the rounds were sanctioned at all. I didn't
Sure.
know if they did that way or
No.
not. But
But yeah, I mean, I played solid all weekend. I putted really, really well. Threw in putts from kind of all over the place, which was awesome. If they were rated, I bet that first round would have been kind of in the 1030 to 1040 range. It was a really good round. And then the others probably would have been around 1010, 1015. So good, not great, but solid.
Solid
Yeah,
weekend.
all around solid.
I always think that's interesting when there's a tie and those people decide to split the winnings.
Playoff for the
I
trophy.
do it
Playoff.
almost every time.
I ask at least.
Have you ever had anybody say no?
I have.
Oh, you have?
I don't think I ever have.
What was your
think I ever
thinking? You're
have.
like, oh, okay, let's go, or were you just
If
"All right."
like here's the thing: if you get to the end and there's a huge pay disparity, then I love to split because you're no matter what happens, you're guaranteed to do well, to come out on top, right? The times that somebody hasn't split, I'm just like, all right, then let's freaking go. good luck, man. Because if we split, if I win, if whoever I'm splitting with wins, like I want to win, but whatever. But if they're not trying to split, I'm turning on the Jets.
I want to win.
Afterburners are on.
And the times
Engaged.
the time that that they didn't split, did you win or lose? You won.
Mm-hmm. Got the old W. I'm probably like,
Did you say in your face?
I did not,
Oh.
but I thought it.
You should have said it.
I think on playoffs I'm probably around 50%. I don't do like I'm not super awesome at them. I'm not super bad at them. I'm
I
probably
haven't been in too many
know, it just
playoffs
feels
in my
like-
career, to be honest.
yeah.
I mean, obviously,
a
I'm not a
lot.
big time competitor. I don't compete and play, you know, and obviously, but it just seems like when I hear them, I'm like, man, it's almost like I want all the money.
Oh, I certainly want all the money, but
So let me get this straight. When you go to a playoff, if you go to a playoff someday for like an open, like first place,
Sick.
are you gonna go up to the guy and go, "Let's go all for nothing"? So whoever wins this playoff
Takes all of it.
wins first and second place prize money, and
I feel
and
like I
second
would
place wins
want to.
nothing.
I feel like I would want to.
So here's
You
what it
should.
comes down to for me.
What'd you say?
You should.
What it came down to for us was like we battled hard all weekend and got there in different ways, right? I had the hot round, one off the hot round, and then like one of the bottom spots. Kyle was the opposite. He was just in the cut the first two rounds, and then had the hot round, third round, and then Dan was pretty steady, close to the hot, but kind of in the middle the whole time.
That's cool. I
And-
know I was invited to this.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear much like PR about it or anything like about the event, just that there was a lot of money added.
Yeah.
And I knew it was no hope for me to go
Yeah, it
being
was
week
right
after
after
GBO.
GBO.
That's really tough to get to. But great event. Sounds like it was a quality time.
Yeah, I think it's worth going to. Although if nobody else wants to go, I'm happy to go back next year and play that again and try and take some money from some of those guys. But it was
I
awesome.
think you already answered it.
Oh, and Anthony caddied for me all weekend,
Oh.
and he's a champ. He kept me super calm when I was getting a little flustered.
now why didn't you
we
play?
got
Why didn't
hyped.
you play?
It's a qualifier, I think.
9-12 rated.
Oh, okay.
I think you have to qualify for this, correct? Is that right?
You have to be invite only. They were doing
Invite only
And then I think at the end he opened it
to anybody just to get it full.
What was the?
Yeah.
What was it? And you may have mentioned it. And I apologize if I missed it. If you had won it outright, how much would you have taken?
2,500 ish.
Oh, you said okay.
Yeah, so 500 more, but there's a potential that I get
500
third.
less.
Sure.
Yeah, and
Sure.
it's 1,000 less.
Sure.
And so
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just curious.
Oh, from first. To,
from
yeah.
from
Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
first to third. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah,
of-
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So all of us felt good about
No,
taking
it makes
over
sense.
$2,000
Well, especially
each.
when you're already going up against two other guys that you're tied with
Yeah,
for the week, basically,
pretty much.
and anybody's game. So it makes perfect sense to split right
Totally.
there. Play out for the trophy.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I
And
like
the,
playing off
the
the
trophy
trophy.
was sweet. It's like an Adirondack like deck chair. It was really awesome.
Oh wow,
I wouldn't have had a lot of room to bring it back, but it was still pretty sweet.
that's cool.
But
Put it on the roof.
That cool.
yeah, it was fun, man. It was super fun.
Cool.
Anthony took a bunch of videos for me, by the way.
Good.
So
Oh yeah, I saw you post.
put some of those on Instagram if you want to check them out. Hey, but for real, Team Warden. So many people after I started making putts were like,
What are you
"Oh
putting
yeah,
with?"
Team." I'm
no,
putting
I
with
meant,
Wardens.
I thought that's what they were
Oh
asking.
no, they're all going, "Oh, Team Warden." Like I didn't
Nice.
say anything about it. Solid. Self-appointed team captain of Team Warden.
Nice.
All right. What do you say we get
You're
to the
team
questions?
manager of Team Warden.
Yeah, that's
Team
right.
manager.
Dynamic discs manager of Team Warden.
What do you say we get to some disc golf?
Let's
Questions.
let's just go ahead and get it.
All right, guys. Remember, as always, send in your disc golf questions to discgolfanswerman.com. We will try to get them on the air. We'd love for you to do speak pipe because we love hearing from you. But if you just want to type it in, that's all cool. It's all good. This one comes from JC from Chapin, South Carolina.
Nice.
What's up, DeGam crew? 2 questions.
Dos.
Question 1. I love to throw my Innova Leopard and Cheetah super straight flyers. What would be some dynamic discs equivalents?
Maverick.
Yep.
For the leopard, and the cheetah, maybe a convict.
Yeah, I think that's probably
Yeah.
2 pretty good ones.
Yeah.
Okay, question 2. Is it possible to make any mold a float in the water disc? Is it a specific plastic composite or is it hidden or is it a hidden air pocket in the mold?
Ooh. I honestly don't know the answer to this. I don't know if you would be able to. I know Thomas would be the person to answer
Yeah.
this question, obviously, but I know we did do some drift witnesses at one point that floated, but it just something was weird with it. It just didn't quite work out,
Yeah,
and we just kind of
weird.
Yeah.
There is
Right.
they don't float because there's an air pocket. They
No.
float because of the type of plastic. So I would imagine, yes, you could take any mold and use that plastic to inject into the machine. Now, whether it would work out well in the end, I don't know. I don't know if you can take any disc and, because there's more to it than just slap, plastic molding together and being pressed. There's a lot to the plate, the rim, and how it handles heat and the shape of it and stuff like that. So, yeah, wouldn't know exactly, but I would imagine you could. I just don't know if it would be a good thing. Next one comes from Josh. Hey, Disc Golf Answerman crew. I've been playing for 1 year now, and thanks to this podcast, I'm transitioning to all Trilogy discs.
What up?
What up?
Welcome.
I'm looking for a good max distance disc. I was throwing an Innova.
Destroyer?
No.
Daedalus?
I would know how to say
I'm,
that.
I'm only joking.
How'd you know it was that?
Oh, Daedalus,
I
yeah.
just figured.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a weird Innova disc.
I was
that's
looking
kinda
at it. I
hard
was
to
like,
pronounce almost.
Daedalus
Kinda
or
looks weird.
Daedalus?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Because you almost were going.
yeah, in the slot
Destroyer, obviously.
and getting around
Right.
375.
I was more just being a butthead.
I know you were.
Oh, Destroyer?
Oh. Destroyer?
He's getting about 375 out of it. I'm throwing an Opto River Pretty, and I've got a Lucid Trespass, but it's still a little too beef for my backhand. By the way, I shot my first ever round under par today, throwing a truth on every shot. You guys are the best. Thanks for all you do.
Let's
so,
go.
what do we got for Innova Daedalus?
I don't even know what that is.
I think
I just know I've heard of the disc.
okay.
I just don't know what
I
it
think
does.
it's pronounced Daedalus, and I think it is a speed 14 that is quite understable.
So Freedom.
You're probably looking at a Freedom
Queen?
on the DD side,
Queen.
and then a Queen or maybe like a Destiny would actually be a really good
Ooh.
comparison from West Side
What
discs.
about Latitude?
Latitude would
Like
probably
a
be
King?
or,
King would be a little bit more stable.
yeah,
probably,
that's also
but-
West Side too.
Oh, you're right.
Yes.
Havoc is what I meant.
Yeah, Havoc or maybe even a Bolt.
Yes.
One of those. I think those would be good ones to try out.
Cool.
All right, let's move on to the next question. This one's from Steve. Hey guys, long-time listener, first time writing a question. I've been trying to work on my form doing field work, but I strained my bicep for the second time in the last 6 months working on my drives. Well,
Damn,
gosh,
man.
you're
Man.
trying too hard or something. I only max out around 250 to 275, and I believe I'm pulling the disc too hard with my arm or releasing too late. It hurts on release or right after the hit point. Thoughts on what is going wrong? I never hear anyone talk about bicep injuries, only wrists, elbows, knees, ankles, shoulders, knees and toes. Knees and toes.
Was that in there?
No.
Okay.
Huh. I don't know. I haven't heard of a whole lot of bicep injuries. That's kind of interesting. If I were you, I mean, none of us are medical professionals, nor close. I mean, we call ourselves doctors of some things, Torchies specifically. But yeah, it has been a while. Oh yeah, somebody just a second ago said, that's a cheap plug for McDonald's. Why not for Torchies? Because we don't freaking have a Torchies here, okay? If we did, I'd have that every single day
Yes.
that we had Disc Golf Answer Man. Back to the question. I think you should reach out to Seth Munsey of Disc Golf Strong. I know that's kind of become a default answer for us in a lot of ways, but he's got a lot more insight physiologically as to why that sort of thing might be happening.
See,
You also may just be trying to throw it too hard only with your upper body. So if you engage your lower body a little bit more, work on your footwork, your hip rotation, that will probably help you to put less stress on your arm. But either way, I would reach out to Seth.
yeah, I would definitely reach out.
Yes.
Someone on here says use your legs and hips. It sounds like you're using too much of your arm.
So throw with your foot.
It's all in the hips. It's dude, Happy Gilmore.
Chaser said the only injury he's seen with
Chubs.
biceps, the guy was focusing too much on arm speed. So
yeah,
Could be.
There you
Could be
go.
just ripping the disc, but either way, I would.
that's what I do all the
Hit
time.
him,
Just
Seth.
throw it really hard.
JC has another question. What's up, Disc Golf
Same.
Answerman crew? Really enjoy the helpful and entertaining shows that y'all put out.
Thanks.
Been playing disc golf casually for 2.5 years now. I currently putt with an end of a Colt, and I've been wanting to make the switch over to the Trilogy family of
Nice.
discs. What would be the closest compatible putter for me to jump into? Love the smooth glide and little fade that Colt gives me, and I love the smooth, beadless hand feel. Thanks for all you do, and keep it real.
I'm not 100% sure on this. I think the Colt is a little bit,
It's like shallow, right?
yeah, not quite as tall as,
I would almost say a Pure comes to mind because
Yep.
it's kind of a little more boxy.
yeah.
Kind of. I'm not sure if that's exactly what the Colt is, but I feel like the Colt is like the new edition of the XD.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? You remember the XD?
Something like that, yeah, which was
similar to
really,
those?
really narrow.
Super short. It was like a classic rock.
I say narrow. Yeah, really, really short. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say a pure would probably be a pretty good option. There, it doesn't have a bead. It's got great glide.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overstable. It's relatively straight to understable. So I would try a pure.
That's what I think too. Yeah, that's good.
Excellent. This one is from Dave.
Nice.
I currently throw a 171 Goldline Saint. I can throw approximately 325 feet dead straight with the disc.
Dang.
It's the most consistent disc in my bag. I'd like to add a distance driver to my bag and would appreciate a recommendation for a disc similar to the Saint that could get me a little more distance off the tee. I'm not a huge fan of wide rims, but understand wide rims are pretty standard with a lot of distance drivers. Can you recommend a disc in the DD and Trilogy lineup?
Trespass.
Yep.
Really comes to mind for DD
Mm-hmm.
as a nice, not super bulky rim on it, but flies relatively straight.
Yep.
Any plastic, really, Lucid or Fusion. I know the Lucid X's, while I want you to buy them all, it is pretty overstable.
Yeah.
They're pretty beefy, so that's probably not going to be what you're looking for. But a nice pop toppy Lucid or Fusion one is great. I can throw them out there with a nice hyzer, flip up the flat, and throw them at like 75 to 80%, and I'm still getting almost 400 feet on them.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, they
a
can-
great straight flying, and for my weak forehand, I love them. So
Yeah, you can put them out there.
Would a
quite a ways.
Renegade be a good recommendation?
Well, what I was gonna say is if the Saint is straight for him at 325, then yeah, it might be like a bio trespass might be better. As long as you don't get a super domey one. Super domey ones tend to be really overstable.
yeah.
But yeah, something with just kind of a normal dome or even closer to flat or even like a Fusion trespass might be a little bit straighter for you. But yeah, I think Renegade would be
I think it'd be good out
on
of the
the more
box.
yes
but
on the more understable side, but it'd probably be pretty straight to start off with something. But if you're looking to grow into a distance driver, yeah, either one of those would be great ones to grow into.
Havoc is another one that we had talked about a little bit earlier. It's very similar to a trespass, a little less overstable finish
Yeah.
to it. So if you want to stick with the latitude line, Havoc would be a great choice
For
as
sure.
well.
All right, here we go. We're going to see what we can hear from the speak pipe.
Hello, cool Daddy Slick Breeze, Robert Mr. 1K McCall, and Eric
Hello.
rated lower than Robert McCabe.
Solid.
Okay,
Two
first of all,
questions
that's
for you,
hateful.
lovely
What's up?
gentlemen. The first is,
That's a good
I'm
way to
in
get on.
between two putting putters
First
right
time,
now,
lifetime.
and I can't quite decide which one I prefer. I
didn't
feel like
think
I was rated lower than Robert
Hold on.
Mr. McCabe.
Here we go.
I have two questions for you, lovely gentlemen. The first is, I'm in between two putting putters right now, and I can't quite decide which one I prefer. I feel like I have the same amount of success with both. I love the feel of both. But what made you guys choose one putt over the other when you were possibly switching or testing different discs when you joined DD? My second question.
First one.
Make your decision. Just do it. Go with it. Stop being a chump about it. Make your decision and stick with it.
Are you-
That's how.
Are you speaking to yourself or?
Yeah.
It
little
sounded kind of like
a little bit. I'm also
little
bitter
intense.
about his little intro for me.
Well,
so
yeah,
he
it's
can.
a little bit hateful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's clarify for a second. I'm rated 1 point higher than Eric from
Correct.
him not having played very many tournaments. So
Like
So,
three?
yeah, so they're very heavily weighted for the first time ever. So thank you.
My
but-
GBO should pump me up a little bit.
Yeah,
So we'll see what happens there.
I will be unseated very soon.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, absolutely. It is what it's about, and I do need to listen to this. It's just find one, and you yourself just said you like them both. You like the way both of them fly. Well, guess what? Pick
Yeah.
which one you want, whichever one you have more of. How about that?
Yeah.
Whichever one you have more of, go with that one.
Right, and just what feels comfortable in your hand. That's the thing I think that is most important to me after the flight. If the flight isn't what I want, forget it. Not
Yeah,
gonna do it.
exactly.
But if the flight is exactly what I want and it doesn't feel good in my hand, I'm not going to feel confident putting that.
Yeah.
And so when I switched over this was in like 2013. Before I got picked up, I moved all my bag to being DD Latitude Westside. And I was putting KC Pro AVRs before, and I moved over to Judges. And I really liked the Judge for quite a while. I had become accustomed to the big bead. That was cool. But it was just for my putt, I naturally putt on hyzer, and I was getting a little bit more dive at the end of the flight than I wanted to from a Judge. And so when the Warden came out, it was in the middle of a tournament I was playing in Louisville. They had one classic hard first run left at the shop. So I picked it up in between rounds and putted with it the next round and putted much better. That's not advisable. Don't do that for you, but
No, do that.
But definitely do that. But yeah, I mean, since then I've putted with that because it felt most comfortable to me and it gives me the flight that I want.
Whatever feels good in the hand and flies the way you want it to, that's what you should be putting with.
Yeah. So there you go.
There you go. Second question, or second part of his question, or second question, number 2. Here we go.
Question is, if Jeremy Rusko came in and challenged you to a bigger version of the Trilogy Challenge, where you could only bag one of the Trilogy brands per slot in your bag. So you could only have DD putters, and then Westside mids, like Latitude 64 drivers, or maybe Latitude 64 putters, DD mids,
Yes,
and
DD
so
mids.
forth. What brand would you pick for each slot, and what drives you to pick that brand for that slot as well?
Cool.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Got it.
State that one. State one.
So-
more.
So all of our putters have to be from either DD Westside or Latitude.
All of our mids.
All of our mids
from-
have to be from one of the others. Drivers have to be one of the others too.
Yep. This one's really easy for me.
Has to
I think
be?
it is for me too.
Has
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, so for me, I can go first. So this is easy for me because I love the Warden more than anything. It's not more than anything, but disc wise. So sorry, Shay,
More than
if you're
Walter?
listening. But I would definitely choose DD putters. I would throw Warden. I would putt Wardens, throw Wardens, and then probably throw a Slammer or two in there, which I still really like a lot. When it comes to mids, I would probably go to Westside for
That's kind of
mids.
cheating.
Why?
I know that the Slammer is a putting approach, but I don't know. It just seems more like
No, that's very much a putter. It's not
It's
like
no
the
different
suspect.
than a harp, though.
Yeah, it's not like the suspect. The suspect I do not count as a putter. The Slammer is definitely a putter.
Okay. In your opinion,
Mids, it's verifiable. Speed
It is-
doesn't lie.
It is what I'm talking about.
Yes. Anyway, so then mids I would go to West Side. I'd probably throw a lot of the Warship for a lot of straight stuff. It's not my favorite feel in the hand, but it does so many good, cool things. And then the Pine and the Anvil for really overstable stuff. I like those. And then, yeah, Tursus occasionally if I want to throw like a huge turnover or mid-roller or something like that. And then, yeah, drivers from Latitude 64. Gladiator's great. Ballista Pro is great. Pioneer is great. Musket. Yeah, a bunch of really good ones. That's what I think. You're really only deciding between two because you're going to pick DD
I'm obviously
mids.
going DD mids because DD has the best mid-range lineup in the game. I don't care what you say. That is not just my opinion. That is fact.
These are the facts.
These are facts.
Deal with it.
No, I'm kidding. Obviously, no. What I love about our DD lineup, our mid-range lineup, is everything feels relatively similar.
Yes.
There's obviously differences, but everything feels pretty close to the same from a warrant all the way up to a verdict. You get into the justice. It's a little bit different, but
Sure.
But obviously, I'm just gonna do what I do and bag 8 EMAC truths that round and call it good. Now my drivers, it's kind of just going off what I would probably go putters with Latitude,
Yeah.
and putt with a Mercy.
Yep.
because it's familiar.
Yeah.
Cenis for overstable.
Dude,
You
I
can,
put one
you
back
can
in my
mash
bag
on,
this
You
week.
can mash on those.
They're awesome.
It's a great pure Goldline Pure is such a great versatile flying putter, and the Seric is another one that's just amazing. I can get that thing to just fly dead straight, and I absolutely love the flight of it. So I'd go Latitude putters, and I would go old school, quote old school for us, and throw some Giants.
Ooh, yeah.
Used to love that disc. That was my go-to for when we first made the switch. And Johnny McRae is actually still throwing Giants.
Yeah,
and
and-
still throwing them well.
And punishing them.
And those old school, what are they, Matt White TP Giants? Those things are so good. And I know I still have a bunch of those, so I need to maybe revisit some of those. But obviously the Giant would be one. I've got a lot of really nice Kings that I used to throw back in the day, like 5 years ago,
So long
that
ago.
were just amazing flyers.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I was throwing that disc further than anything. So
Yep.
Giant, you can get it to do anything, really.
Yeah.
So that would be me.
Yeah, if you need proof of that Giants are still good, go and watch Johnny McRae,
Yeah.
either the second or third round of GBO.
Any round, really.
Yes.
Anything that he's
Right.
he's just Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
amazing the way he throws that disc.
specifically hole 7, he hits an early tree on
Oh,
hole
yeah.
7
Yeah,
and
that was-
throws 500 plus to outside the circle and still gets a 3.
He was
which,
basically by the short tee,
yes, it was unbelievable.
and then
so yeah,
step putt,
Yep.
jam sesh, birdie.
easy money. So yeah, check those out.
I would go with DD drivers. I'd want a Renegade and a Maverick.
Yep, so that's solid.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would go with putters West Side. I would get the Swan 1 Reborn that I was
Ooh, yeah.
throwing before the
Oh, yeah, I
deputy.
remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a crown for a nice
And
overstable
Crown
approach.
was another one coming up that I was going to say.
Shield. Mm-hmm.
And then I never did throw the shield a lot.
Oh man,
I think I tried it.
You'd probably be a
It's-
900 rated player if you threw a shield.
I'm just saying, dude. That's not
I'll look
true.
into it.
You're welcome.
And then and then for my mids, I obviously the Latitude. I would go with probably a Compass.
Yeah, they're
Maybe
good.
a Grady shoe compass.
Nice and
Opto X.
stable.
Yes.
All right, we
let's-
all pick something different.
Nice.
All right, let's
Mine's
see.
better, of course.
Seth in Austin says, "I have a Marksman basket that lives a comfortable life in my garage. Spring has sprung, and I love to permanently move it into the backyard. How weatherproof is it? Also, any ideas on how to secure it from a theft would be welcome." Well, I think we can go to the website. Does it list anything about it as far as?
Yeah. So the weather and waterproofing of Marksman is that they are not intended to be permanently installed, which means they'd be left outside all the time.
You could put an umbrella on the top of them.
You can cover them with an umbrella, which isn't a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
But I've left my Marksman outside for a very long time.
Same.
And I see like a little rust here and there on some of the
Like S hooks, probably.
the
and-
screws is more where I
Oh,
see them, like
okay.
the
Yeah.
little tension screws or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
But everything else is in great
The
shape.
basket, the Marksman that's at Jones East has been there since
Yeah.
the Marksmans came out. I don't even remember when that was, but that thing is in pretty dang good shape
It's doing
still
pretty well.
for battling the elements
Yeah.
outside. So
As far as sorry, go ahead.
Well, it just says on, like you said, it says on the site, and I'll go ahead and read it verbatim. Dynamic Disc Marksman basket is mainly meant for portable use, meaning permanent installation or prolonged exposure to the elements can eventually compromise the integrity of the basket's composition.
Mm-hmm.
So, for keeping it real, I think it would be great to be able to have it out there in the backyard for a long time, but you got to know that's not what it's designed
Right.
for.
No, I mean it may be fine. Like I've had mine outside for now.
I think it also depends on where you
Few years.
live. If you're up
Yeah.
north, maybe somewhere,
You'd struggle.
Yeah, it definitely. And as far as securing it, that's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know really what you would do other than maybe like chaining the bottom of it and
You could
locking it.
put a chain, like one of those wire, through the bottom of the basket or something, and
Yeah,
tie it to a tree or something. But
sweet.
Did you guys ask the answer about theft prevention?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what we
oh,
were
you
just
did.
talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
The best Torchy taco is the turkey mole. This cannot be disputed. He adds that at the end.
okay,
What is the
This-
turkey mole?
That would be probably mole, like a Mexican take on stuff like that.
Oh, that's a sauce, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
It's almost like a chocolate sort of
Well,
based sauce. It's
I
really
never-
interesting.
I don't know that I like it.
I don't know. I feel like we're gonna have to test this theory.
We will have to.
It may be the turkey mole, but just from hearing it the first time, I think it might be
Well,
that too.
he said Torchy's tacos. The best Torchy's tacos are the turkey.
Mole or whatever it is.
I don't know.
Road trip.
I'm gonna tell you right now though, it's not because the Mr. Orange is. But then when the Roscoe is around, obviously that's pretty good too.
What is the taco of the month for May?
I don't have any idea.
Let's go.
Let's
Only one way to find out.
Let's find out.
Let's go right now.
Now.
Remote.
Road trip.
Road trip. Remote disc golf answer man. This question is from
Bill.
No, looks like
Jim.
Makalia.
Euro technology.
Michaela.
Michaela.
Please tell me you're not saying Michaela, Bobby.
Michaleie. Is it Michaela?
Wait, can I see it?
Well, I don't want to mess up. Hold on.
That's a weird one.
See?
Okay,
Take
good.
it back.
I take it back. I thought you were trying to say Michaela.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what that would be.
All right, let's see. M asks,
What up, M?
when will the guard come out in more plastics?
Oh,
Soon.
Well, already
All that for.
it's already come out in blend and classic hard.
Classic Hard. It came
Well,
out.
has
in.
it? I didn't know that.
Came out in Classic Hard Friday of GBO.
Next one is from Josiah. Hey guys, I love the Lucid Felon and love the level of control I can get from it, but I really want a fairway driver that finishes straighter than the Felon, but feels similar in the hand. Would you recommend a beat-in Biofusion Felon or a Lucid Convict, or maybe there's something else I haven't heard of? Looking forward to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
I think the Bio Felon would be great. I mean, it's going to feel exactly like it.
Yep, because it is it.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Now it's going to be pretty beefy, brand new, so you're going to have to beat it in a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
a couple discs do come to mind that I throw in this spot is my Getaway.
Yep.
I'll throw a Getaway in that spot, and that thing's got sneaky distance.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
100%.
And then another disc that I'm absolutely loving is the Latitude 64 Explorer. This
Yep.
thing is amazing as well. I
Super
can
duper good.
mash those things relatively flat, and they fly really straight. They do have a little fade at the end, so my Getaway tends to be a touch less overstable than those. So I would say I would try either the Bio Felon or the Getaway.
Nice, yeah. I would say if you're looking for the feel to be identical, obviously you stick with the Felon. The Convict is going to be the closest in feel that's going to be something that's a little
True,
bit straighter.
Convict is a good one as well.
Because
Although it's
yeah,
a little squirrely at times.
it's going to be more of like it has more of an S turn than like something like the Getaway, which is pretty.
It's
straight
not going to
and
fly
finish
on a
left.
rope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it will finish straighter than a Convict.
Yeah, maybe get a Lucid X.
yeah, check 'em out.
The PP ones.
Check them out.
Next one comes from Shay.
Danny put this in the chat. This is worth talking about for sure. The Culverin has a similar feel to the Felon. Yes, I think
Every
that's a good.
Culverin I threw was really overstable. Not really overstable, but decently overstable.
Yeah.
Granted, I only threw them when they first came
Maybe
out.
practice
so.
a little bit more. You might
Okay.
get better.
You can
I'll
finally
try
get
that.
finally get
I'll
some
try
snap
that.
on those discs.
Oh, okay. So I should work up to that.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You're trying
Excellent.
you're trying to get a little too fast.
All right, I
Andre.
can't wait.
Got it.
Yeah,
Field
stick,
work.
stick with the underworld
Field
for a
work.
little bit. You'll finally get there.
Hatchet. Get it right.
the hatchet.
Hey, I used to like the hatchet.
I know.
it's a
That's
good
why I
disc.
said that.
This next one is from Shay.
What's up, DGAM crew? This is Shay from Philly with a rules question for you. During my last round, a cardmate threw a shot into a tree, and the disc came to rest right where the trunk split into 3 branches. The tree was a good 2 feet wide, so he isn't able to mark directly under his disc. So the group, we had him mark the first available spot along the line of play behind his disc, and I'm wondering if we made the right call. Thank you for the info, and as always, keep it real.
Easy.
You
Yes,
did
you
not stroke yourself. Go back.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Go back. Tell the PDGA.
Yes. No, that's the correct play.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
With something that's like an immovable object where you cannot physically establish a lie. Now, it's important to say too, like you said, the first available point
So that's
in line with the
basically
basket.
right on the tree.
Yes. So it doesn't say first available point where you can still, run up and throw a shot.
Not
It's
like
first
the new
available
OB.
point. Yes. So it's just like if there's a tree trunk, you're touching the tree trunk with your mini at the closest place where you can actually get your foot down.
You know how many people I watched at Glassblown Open, Peter Pan, hole 1, not know the new rule that threw it OB over the fence?
Oh, like the infinity
Yeah.
backwards rule?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not good.
Yeah.
I
Explain
actually
that,
had to use
explain
the
that.
infinity backwards rule this weekend.
Did
I'll
you?
talk about it in a second. Yeah.
So when you
Is that
throw
like
OB,
Infinity Wars?
Yep, exactly like that.
yeah, if you've seen the
If
movie,
you
you
get
can
the
use the rule.
stones, you can snap
6 stones. Yeah.
and
God, spoilers, guys. Come on.
I know you're still on Iron Man 1, so
Dude, hey, actually, side note, Shay is now watching the Avengers movies
Nice.
and she is hooked. Like, she's
Nice.
super stoked about
well,
them.
make sure you run through them really fast so you can watch Endgame in the theater.
Have
It's
you
the
watched
only way
any
to
of them
see
with
it.
her?
I mean, I've seen a few of them. Just I
Right.
haven't seen any
Have
since
you
she
seen
started
the,
watching.
the what's the one right before that?
Infinity War?
Yeah, Infinity War.
No, but she wants me to watch that because she said it was so
I
incredible.
know she told me.
Yeah, she was stoked
I'm
on
gonna
it.
get him to watch it.
Infinity Wars.
And I will. Anyway, infinity backwards rule,
I don't
GBO.
remember what we were talking about. Oh, yeah. So, like, hole number 1 at Peter Pan, if you guys aren't
Inevitable.
familiar, the shot is basically a stall over the left field corner of the
Right.
baseball field. And a lot of people were turning over too much and going OB over the fence. So the rule states that you can now take your meter, take up to however far back you want to go on that plane, correct?
Yep.
So
In line with the basket.
in line with the basket,
That's right.
yep. So you can go back as far as you want so you can give yourself a better lie so you're not just taking 1 meter off the fence and having this awkward lie and worrying about hitting your hand. And
Yep.
so you can go back as far as you absolutely want.
Yeah, on something that's
so
out of
many
bounds.
people, on OB, so many people didn't know that rule, didn't know what was going on with it. Saw so many people not play it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's at
Knowing
least
the
one
rulebook.
stroke.
Yes.
At least one
Yes.
stroke.
Yeah, knowing the rule book is certainly to your benefit in nearly every circumstance, but especially this one.
Yeah.
So at the Canyons this weekend, there's this forehand hole as the last hole of the round. I threw a bad forehand, hit a tree, went into the water, and it was the way that the hole is shaped. There's kind of like a cliff on the right side, and the basket is behind the cliff over to the right. So you really need to throw like a forehand that skips over to get close. But my disc went out of bounds in line with the cliff after it hit that tree. So had I gone down to the water's edge, I would have been totally obscured from throwing any sort of shot that could have gotten me probably within like 80.
Yep.
So I took my meter off the water where we said that it went in bounds, and then from there, in line with the basket, backed up probably like 80 or 90 feet, and I was probably only 80 or 90 feet from the tee box at that point, but it gave me...
Oh, gosh.
Hold on.
They probably can still hear us.
Oh, okay. They can?
We just can't hear it being monitored.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to keep going then. There we go. So...
Sorry.
80 feet backwards, 80 feet in front of the tee box, but it gave me an angle to actually get into the green. I didn't do so great. I got to like 40, but made the putt, got the 4. That was our second round. Ultimately, I could have gotten a 5 and it would have been okay, but I thought at the time, I have to make this.
Yep.
And knowing that rule saved me a stroke for sure.
That's cool.
There's not a chance that I would have gotten a 4 from there.
Yeah.
So anyway,
It pays.
pays to know the rules, man.
It pays. This one is from Tanner.
Hey, Disc Golf Answering Crew. My name is Tanner, and I'm very new to the game. I've been playing just this past year, and I've been watching your podcast or listening to it for about 2 weeks now. I'm really liking it. But I had a question, something that's really been confusing me. So I went to my first doubles game just today. Just got back from it. And I got matched up with someone very good. Cashes all the time, and I was really excited to match up with them. And
we had a good time.
And he was critiquing me on a lot of things that I've learned from YouTube, like watching people like Simon Lizotte and trying to match their grip and, match their, what they do, their form and stuff. And I videotaped myself, and I think that I'm matching a lot of the professionals to the best of my ability. And when I played with this guy, he told me my form was all wrong. He told me my stance was wrong and just critiqued me on every part of my game, where I love the critique, but it's not matching up with what a lot of the people on YouTube are saying. And I'm just really confused because I know this guy's good and I want to listen to him because I know he cashes, but also it's not what the people on YouTube are saying. I know there's different ways to play the game, but I'm just really confused in what direction I should go. And I was wanting some of your input on this. So thank you. And
yeah.
What I would say here,
I thought I was waiting for
Cut off.
I know what I would say in this situation is, I don't know the credibility of the player you were playing with,
Right.
or the people on YouTube.
That's correct.
So
I've never heard of Simon personally.
No.
Have you heard of that guy?
No, well, I mean, he's getting,
I'm messing.
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
I would personally send it into the Disc Golf Answer Man podcast and somebody named Danny Lindahl, who can really break it down and let you know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Personally, that's what I would do in that situation.
Yeah.
And just because the pro is really good and cashes at everything, that doesn't necessarily mean they can teach.
Yeah.
And tell
Correct.
you what you're doing wrong or show you what you're doing wrong. I would just go with somebody that I know.
Yeah.
Danny, he's the man.
Yeah, he definitely knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say, so yes, there are some mechanics that I think need to be present in anybody's form for it to be considered good and for it to be efficient, right? But go watch the way Paul Macbeth throws, and then compare that to somebody like Cale LaVisca. Compare that to somebody like James Conrad or Bradley Williams or anybody like that. People who say like, hey, these are people with good form. I guess people may not say that about James because he looks so crazy doing it, but he is super effective at throwing the disc, right? There is not one specific way to throw the disc. Eric and I throw very dissimilarly from one another. His body looks totally different from mine when we're throwing, but for the most part, we can accomplish kind of what we want to. So don't treat one person's advice as like gospel, right? There isn't just one person who knows. There are a lot of different ways to get it accomplished. As long as you've got kind of those main principles, like those main things in place, that's going to help you out a lot.
Yep, 100%.
So, yeah, man.
What if it literally is the gospel?
If it is the gospel, you better listen to it.
Something that frustrates me, and this is just me personally, is that and a lot of times when I'm playing with people that I've never played with before, they'll say, "Man, you're form is smooth.
Man, you suck.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that frustrates me. They say my form is smooth, and I still get frustrated because I don't seem to be gaining a lot of distance now. I know I don't play a lot and stuff, and Danny's giving me some advice that I need to get out and practice more. So
Yeah.
My point is that what was my point?
There's a bunch of ways to skin a cat.
I guess, yeah. I mean, in a sense that there's so many, and he already said it in the question, but there's so many different ways that people throw that it's hard to pinpoint that, to look at that person and say, that's exactly what I'm going to do,
Right.
rather than kind of like you said, some of the fundamentals that you incorporate.
Right. Well, you
That
can
makes
tell
sense.
when, yeah, of course. You can tell when certain people watch players to try and get kind of their form down, right? Because there are people who they're trying to mimic how Eagle throws. They're trying to mimic how Macbeth throws and everybody like that. But at the end of the day, your body isn't theirs. Yours is going to be different from theirs. And so doing something that works for you, that's effective for you, and that does the right sort of things is more important than looking exactly like, like, okay, let's say Eric wanted to change his form totally. And he's like, I'm going to go look at Simon Lizotte. He throws really far. Well, there's going to be a problem. Simon and Eric look entirely different from one another. Simon's 6'1", 6'2", really, really long limbs, and has a super duper hip turn. That may not be the best thing for Eric or somebody like me to replicate, because our bodies don't look like that. So I don't know. Just some thoughts.
Next question comes from Jamie. What is considered the Augusta to you guys? The course you walk on to take on the course you walk onto and take a deep breath and just smile. I'm an avid hunter, so I have those mornings I pull up to the farm, get out, and just smile because of the beauty in front of me. What course is that for you guys?
The only one that comes to mind for me is Winthrop Gold.
And that's not necessarily because of the course either. It's because of the event that
Correct.
goes on at the course.
Correct.
And that's kind of what came to my mind as well. The only other one that really does as far as the course goes would be Maple Hill.
Yeah, it's crazy. Maple Hill is nuts.
Maple Hill, and then of course driving down the hill to get into Milo McIver. That's pretty epic as well. You haven't been out there?
I haven't seen it. I want to really bad.
That's another one out there. But the Augusta, there's nothing like the Augusta in my opinion. I mean, that's just tradition.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
yeah, I'd say you're exactly right. The course at Winthrop is good.
It's all right.
But
yeah, I mean, it's not like it's not in my top 10.
Sure. It's made more difficult, obviously, by a lot of artificial out of bounds and some, natural out of bounds with water and fences and things like that. But there's this very, very prestigious event that's held there every single year. That's what kind of makes it feel that way.
Exactly.
As well. Yep. When I went last year for the first time and walked out there, I was like, oh, man, this is it. This is awesome.
Yep. Agreed. 100%.
Next one is from Kenny. Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man fam. I'm wondering if you have any advice on release timing tips. My game is getting a lot better, and I'm shooting 940-plus rated rounds, and I notice I'm struggling on aim just a bit, and it's gotten me in trouble shooting long gaps, tunnels, etc. Any target practice / exercises advice you might have to help me improve this? Thanks a bunch. # Team Warden for life.
My man.
Oh, in that case, want to say that last part.
You get this one.
In that case, Eric's out of here. So I say, as far as when I'm trying to work on hitting accurate release points, and I go out to do it in a field, I think contrary to popular belief, you do not have to have tunnels and trees to work on being accurate. I'll go out to a field and pick my aiming point, whether it's a light pole or a tree or whatever. It doesn't really matter, and throw all of my discs with the intent of just hitting that release point. Right. I don't care what it does after I let it go. So say I'm throwing a Maverick at it and I hit the release point. Well, it's going to go to the right afterwards. No problem. I hit the point. If I'm throwing an Enforcer and it goes, left really quickly, no problem. I'm hitting the release point. So don't equate results to the process of learning to hit those release points. I think people often miss their release but land still in line with what they were aiming at and be like, oh, that was a good shot. No, it really wasn't. You're working on hitting those release points. Something that'll also, I think, make you a little bit more accurate and have a more repeatable swing is if you are having a reach back that's full but comfortable, and then making sure that your shoulder, that your shoulder and elbow that your shoulder isn't leading the throw. That people call that rounding. It makes it really hard for you to be accurate. You want to make sure that you're getting your arm to that power pocket, that your hips are engaged, and that your timing is really good. Those are the things that I would work on for sure.
For sure. Next one comes from Tanner. Tanner, maybe
Same one?
speak pipe. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm 17 years old, and I've been playing disc golf for 1 year seriously.
Cool.
Off the disc golf course, I'm a pitcher for my school's baseball team. This affects my game in that I can throw a forearm shot around 400 feet.
Cool.
However, my backhand is not so great. I can only throw about 275 feet and not very consistently. Do you think I should force myself to throw backhand in order to become better with that shot and just say screw my game until my backhand is acceptable, or stick with my forearm?
I mean, I think it's always good to learn another shot.
I agree.
100%. If you have the capability to throw both, you are going to be able to score in more situations than not. But I wouldn't. Yeah,
I won a world title without throwing a sidearm.
Correct. But I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Well,
I'm just
obviously
kidding.
I know that that's true.
Obviously, I'm joking. This was 10 years ago.
Yes, but still, even I think if you can throw both, that's going to benefit you. Now, I wouldn't stop throwing forehands entirely because that's a strength of your game. Stick with that. But having a 250, 300 foot backhand that you can control, I'd say that'd be great to have.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to become your primary throw, but having it is good.
Yep.
All right, next one comes from Sam.
Hey, Bobby Cool, Diddy Slick Breeze,
I like
The
it.
Truth, and Bobbert. I got a question regarding apps.
Truth and Bobbert.
I use a couple apps when I disc golf. I use UDisc for finding new courses when I'm visiting a different place,
Solid choice.
or to measure my long drive distance. And then I use DG Scorecard for like a quick round with friends. But I was wondering if you had any other suggestions as far as apps go for supplementing your game or improving in disc golf.
UDisc is the one I use the most.
Yeah.
You can do detailed statistics if you want. You can do just raw, simple score if you want. That's the one I use
You
the
can
most.
look up recipes if you want.
That's the one I use all the time. I would definitely recommend the GBO app too, though.
Ah, yes.
I mean,
I haven't looked on that in a while.
you're gonna
I wonder if
learn
it's
so
active.
much.
when it's when it's
You are.
up and active. But yeah, that's what I would do. So shout out UDisc, they do great.
Yeah, there was
awesome
one. There was
things.
a putting one that.
No, that's not for use during a round.
Right. Sure.
It's
Sure,
a-
that's good point.
Just as a
Good point.
Yeah,
Next
But-
one-
PDGA has an app too, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, they do scorekeeping, course finding, things like that.
Yeah. For whatever reason, the UDisc one is just so much simpler to
It's
work.
awesome.
And
Yeah,
of course,
I
the
love it.
new one for getting yourself ready is the Disc Golf Strong app.
Correct.
Yes.
Get you some get your Disc Golf Strong on. This one's from Westy.
Hey guys, this is Westy again. Don't have a question this week. I actually just finished listening to all of your episodes. I started back in November and kept current since then, but have been listening to every episode prior to November.
That's awesome.
Started at number 1 and just kept listening to them at work, and just wanted to say that your guys' podcast has gotten me through work the last 5 or 6 months, and it's awesome.
Nice.
It's great to have seen everything that's changed from episode 1 to now in such a short time.
Yeah.
And give a shout out to Danny and Anthony. Listening to them take over for you guys while you guys were in Europe was awesome, and having the addition of Robert McCall has been great as well. Just wanted to say you guys are doing a great job, and keep it up. Thanks.
Nice.
We need to do a throwback one week when we can't record. We're busy. Just throw back episode 1. Just put it out there.
I've seen some. I've listened to some podcasts that do that.
Yeah.
They'll just. Usually it's a specific topic though.
Right.
Right.
So, this one is from Ice Benji.
Oh.
Benji?
Penji.
Penji. Okay.
Ice Benji. To go. Oh, sorry.
Hello, Disc Golf Answerman. This is Benjamin Pesonen from Finland. Today I have a question for you. Actually, it's a two-part question, but no need to pause in between the questions. So,
Tell me what to do.
are you guys coming to Tuni and I really hope that if you are, you, Eric, bring some Lucid X Ice Imac Truths. See you guys here if you come.
So no, we will not be making the trip this year to Disney. So a little disappointed, but or disappointing, but just have some other things going on. So I don't even know if Eric would be able to bring any ice because they're gone, right?
They gone.
They gone. All right, this one is from Anonymous, so I have my hand on the pause button ready just in case.
Hello.
Yeah, we can't have that. I'm just teasing. It's actually my favorite guy. Hold on. Gotta start that from the beginning.
Hello, Bobby. Cool Daddy. Slick Breeze. Eric, the Truth McCabe. And Robert, the Voice McCall.
No.
Robert,
the
I've picked
voice.
on you a little bit in the past, but let me make amends for that by offering my congratulations on doing a fantastic job during the live coverage of GBO. You and Terry Miller absolutely crushed it, man. And unfortunately, that's how I had to watch it because I was too sick from the chemo to make that trip. Fortunately, I recovered well enough
to
be able to play in my first disc golf tournament the next weekend out here at Big Hill Lake in southeastern Kansas. And I played pretty well in the first round, kind of tanked the second round, lost my favorite disc, a Lucid Getaway, in the spillway coming off the lake, which I've just ordered my replacement. Nice. But my question is, what was the first tournament that you guys played in, and how well did you play? And, man, I just thank you guys for keeping it real and for what you do to help grow the sport.
Nice, man.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate that.
Hope that the chemo is doing well and the cancer is subsiding.
So, first tournament we ever played, I don't even remember.
I remember mine like it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
It was not yesterday.
Okay.
Mine was 9 million years ago.
Yep, yours was a long time.
However, one of the first like actual events I've got two I guess I could talk about. My first event I played in was a doubles event that Jim Ramsey and I played in Lawrence. We went up there and played a doubles event. I remember that. That would have been like 95 maybe. The first tournament I ever went to was the Kansas City Wide Open in like 95, 94, something like that, and went up and watched the pros play the Final Nine, which was really cool back then, you know, getting to see like Crazy John and LaRon and Stokely, a couple other, Climo was always a big name there, Chauncey Donaldson, a couple other big names that people have no idea who they are now, but they were ballers, and it was awesome going up there and watching them play. So yeah, that was my first event that I went to and the first event that I played.
That's awesome. My first event that I went to was also the first one I played, Turner Park Tune-Up.
Turner.
2010.
I was there.
Yep.
It was
Is
cold.
that the one I videoed?
It was cold. With the really,
It was very cold.
You did the video and then zzz, remember the...
Oh, that's right.
It was so
Because it's the
bad.
tune-up.
So good, though.
Yeah, that was my first one.
That was so clever.
Yep.
At the time, I'd been playing for probably around 2 years. Yeah, like from 2008 or so. So I remember seeing was it Expedition?
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing your Expedition there with the Cool Daddy Slick Breeze on there. I saw Eric there and Nico was there, and
He won, I thought.
Yep,
he did. And I saw
Spoiler alert. But
and I saw a bunch of if people haven't watched yet, and they just don't want to.
There's
But
a DVD out there. Just saying.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I saw a bunch of people wearing Team DD hoodies, and I was like, I don't even know what that is, but I want to do that someday. I remember thinking that at that tournament. It was before I knew who anybody was or anything. So played that tournament. It was freezing and still very wet and muddy from the day before.
It was cold. I remember.
Yes, I played horribly to my standards at the time. I miscalculated my scorecard the first round.
Whoa.
And I shot a 900 first round. 900 on the number.
You threw 900 strokes?
Nope.
Oh.
But
How
that
are
was
you
what
on-
it was rated.
How did you get on the team?
That was what it was rated. My first tournament ever. Second round, I felt like went a lot better, and it was a 915.
Okay.
And I did not cash. But yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday. I did the one the day after too at Town Lake and shot 993, 970 something.
Nice.
So, but the first one, that's still my lowest round ever, 900.
That was the first tournament that I put on DVD.
Yep.
I remember interviewing Nico at the end, and it was getting really dark.
And really cold.
Yeah.
He
I
had
remember-
big time fro at that point too.
Yeah, he
like,
did. He had
it
a
was
big fro.
crazy.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, man.
I still can't remember. It had to have been like the Oklahoma Open or something in Oklahoma that I played. Obviously, it was very memorable, and I won.
Yeah,
obviously,
you
won a bunch of cash.
You said Green Country Open 09 was the first one that you did?
That's the first one that I had any media involvement.
Right.
I didn't
Mhm.
obviously record it as disc golf coverage.
Yeah.
Turner Park was the first one that I covered, and I made legit.
Yeah, like produced it.
Graphics, scores, and I think did you and Liz? I think did the commentary,
Mhm.
or maybe I can't remember.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was my first legitimate tournament coverage.
We drove
video.
the really old RV down and stayed at
Yes.
the ranch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, for the Green Country Open.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They made Eco Grooves for that tournament. That's
They
the,
did.
that's the only reason I remember that
They
stamp.
did.
That
was
was
the
one of the reasons I got paid, or
Yep.
one of the reasons. One of the ways I got paid was some
Eco Grooves.
Eco Groove.
You-
I liked it. I thought it
Did
was
you hold
cool.
on to any of those? They're worth a lot today. They're not. Bobby.
They're not
They're
worth
worth
anything
nothing.
today.
I had it was a specific one I had that I really like was a black one with the gold stamp with the totem pole looking Green Country.
Yep.
stamp
It was a
on
cool stamp.
I just remember that Eco Green when it first came out. Everybody wanted that, and it was awesome. So, anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are at the hour mark for the podcast. We're going to go ahead and let the podcast go. We'll hang on here on YouTube and talk to you a little bit over 200 folks. See if we can get some questions answered from our YouTube folks. Oh no, for the after show. I'm sorry, that's not what it's called. Actually, what it's called is the after show. All right. So how did we do that last time? I think I just paused it and then we kept going.
Yep.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in for the regular podcast. We appreciate you. Appreciate all your patience as we work through some of the audio and the studio stuff. And keep on keeping on. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
See if it'll let. I think I'm going to end it.
Okay. You're gonna end the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So for our YouTubers, we're going to end this and we're going to see if I can come back for the after show. Hang on tight.
We'll lose a lot of our viewers if we do that.
I know, so I'm going to see what happens if I pause it.
I'll be right back.
Live. Will it continue on the same thing?
Same.
Yep, we still got the people. So,
What's up, people?
what's up, people? So we are back to live. All right, so we're going to take a quick breather.
We're going to take a quick commercial break.
And then, oh my gosh, it went kaboom. Yeah, I wonder what happened. I wonder what happens when I hit pause.
Don't do it.
I already hit it. I already did
Oh.
it. I was going to go on my phone to see what's going on.
Don't do it again.
What's there?
All right, so we're going to take a quick breather. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then,
All right, guys, so get some questions in on the chat room for YouTube, and we'll see if we can answer a few questions as we are in a little more relaxed state of mind.
now we are.
Just Magic out of there during the load. That's how it looked to me. Must have paused. Bobby, did everything on your camera survive yeah, Mr. Drew, what had happened was what he's recalling is during the luck of the draw, everything was crazy, and Jennifer Allen was running toward and was going to jump over Alyssa, who was kneeling down right next to me. I was filming, she was taking photos, and she kicked my camera lens and kicked it up, and I was like, okay, and it was actually on a stabilizer gimbal, and you didn't know that, Anthony? Yeah.
That's not great.
Did it break?
She was running at me and Alyssa, and she was going to she put her hand on Alyssa's shoulder or something. She was going to kind of skip over us, and she didn't quite clear with her foot the front lens of my camera. I had my DSLR.
Who's this?
Jennifer Allen.
Ah.
And it hit it and knocked it up, and it did survive. I had to turn off the gimbal and turn it back on because it was kind of freaking out.
Right.
But yes, it did survive. Thank you for asking. I'm in the market for a very overstable mid. Are there any significant differences between a Gator and a Justice?
Yeah, the Justice is more overstable, and it's generally a little bit more shallow than the Gator. I'll find some. Let's see. Let's just roll it back here. What's a good overstable version of the Sheriff? Just got a Sheriff in this week, threw it and loved it. I think the Lucid ones that have dome are usually kind of the more overstable ones.
Especially those ones that had the sparkle to them, too.
Yeah. Doug says, tips for keeping calm on the course. My game really hinges on mental attitude. Doug, this is something that I heard.
Angry Birds.
You just play the Angry Birds. This is something that I heard Ulibarri and Brian Earhart talking about when they were doing a live podcast before the Canyons. I hadn't really thought about this, but it does make sense, and I think it's really effective. So first things first, one of the things that I do is I try to only think about the shot that I'm throwing when I'm throwing it, and then let my mind go otherwise. So it helps to have people on your card that you're cool talking with and hanging out with. That's really helpful. But if not, maybe listen to music, maybe just look around at the course. I think that allows you to stay a little bit more mentally focused for a longer time. But one of the things that they said was that the top players and the people who are some of the best in the world don't feel anything about their shots, right? So the question that was posed to them is, how do you recover from a poor shot? And they said, well, you define what's a poor shot to you. Like maybe if you threw a line that you didn't intend, maybe that wasn't a poor shot. The result may have not been what you wanted, but it's only a poor shot when you decide that it was. So instead of saying, man, I just threw such a bad shot, a lot of times they'll think to themselves, man, that was just a little bit too wide or a little too low. I thought about that quite a bit this weekend while playing this tournament, and it helped me a lot to say, like, oh, that just came out a little bit wide, instead of, oh man, that was a bad shot, because then you're speaking about yourself negatively, and that starts to kind of get to you. So that's something that I would think about, and it helped me a lot this weekend.
Did you talk about the Raider? Is this disc right for you?
Question? I did not.
Okay, so someone says, is this disc right for you? Raider out yet? No, it's not out yet. As a matter of fact, we're filming some Is This Disc Right For You trilogy challenges tomorrow.
Sweet.
And then after that, the following week, we'll plan to do some for the specific DD discs that are coming out, which is including the Guard, the Raider.
Yeah.
Vandal. Oh, Vandal
the
will be
Vandals,
done.
yeah. What else? Is that all we have from DD that's coming out?
Guard, Vandal, Raider. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So we'll take care of those.
Yeah, man. Sam said, how was it playing against Illinois' best at the Canyons? It was awesome, dude. I love the Canyons. I told Sean that while we were there, and I'll tell everybody who asked me. That's one of my favorite places to play. Super well maintained, fun lines, super fun course. Every time I get the chance to play it, I'll play it. It was awesome.
Benjamin, Bobby, did you get a look at that Dymax Maverick design I sent you? I did. Am I allowed to show it? Let me know I don't know if you want people to see it or what, but it turned out really cool. I have it right here. I can show it on camera. Or if you'd rather me take a picture and show it to you only, just let me know in the comments.
Let's see. Can we talk about scoring on UDisc? I did it at Utah Open and had serious stress over locations. For example, what is off or on a fairway? What is more important, circle 2 or off fairway? Michael, good question. That's one of the difficulties with UDisc live scoring, is it kind of comes down to the subjectivity of the person taking score. If we're playing a wide open course, then almost anything is the fairway as long as it's not obstructed on your second shot. But when you say what is more important, circle 2 or off fairway, I'm not sure I understand the question. So anyway, Danny, are you putting the Guard now?
Outside the circle.
Outside the circle, he says. Warden still inside the circle?
Oh, yes.
My man.
All right, so Benjamin said it is good to show, so I'll show you guys real quick.
Nice.
Maverick.
So this guy had drawn a Maverick for us, and I said, I really think that's cool, so he sent it to me, and I had a disc made on a Maverick, obviously. This is obviously a so super limited, only I can have it. And, of course, Benjamin, yours will be in the mail soon.
Yeah. As someone who is unable to travel for GBO, will there be any future opportunities for pure lovers to get their hands on Opto X Pures, or will my dreams remain dreams? I don't know the answer to that.
That's a latitude question, I would assume.
Yep. If they decide to do it, I'm sure that you will hear about it, but as of right now, I don't think they have plans for it really anytime soon.
Joseph, this is a good question. Why does my local Dick's Sporting Goods not carry dynamic discs? I may have had missed the answer. I called them about the Lucid Raider, and they were a little confused. So, Joseph, we are in Dick's Sporting Goods, but Dick's Sporting Goods has how many?
50?
No,
total
locations?
total, over 200.
Yeah, it's more than that even. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
number.
that's what
It's
Jamie was saying.
Several
It's a
hundred
freaking
stores,
lot,
and we're just not in all of them. So, Disc Golf, of course, we all know, is fairly new to a lot of these big box stores. So I'm sure that they want to test it out to see how well it does in some 50 stores, and then if it does really well, they'll obviously expand into more stores. So that's why you're going to have some of the stores not understand what's going on when you talk about disc golf. So if you do call Dick's Sporting Good and you want to have disc golf in there, and you want to have dynamic discs in there, make sure you tell the manager, hey, what's up with that dynamic disc?
Yo, man, let's make this happen. I'm a little ways up from you, so I'll go down to the ones that you just did, and then you can grab whichever you want below that, and we can just go. How's that sound, Bobby?
I forgot to hit record on the after show.
Okay. Well, we can just start recording now.
All right, so we are officially back with the after show after I forgot to hit record. So this is where the audio people will begin listening.
Yeah.
And it's the after show, so you never know what's going to happen, bro.
Bro. Leon says, wow, Gilbert Grape has got game. I assume he's talking about Thomas Gilbert, who won the challenge at Goat Hill this weekend.
Mhm.
And yes, he definitely has game. Young kid, tall, long limbs, throws super duper far. Yeah, he's the man for sure. Malachi says, this person's name is Malachi. He says, Mr. Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, what are your 4 favorite discs? Distance driver, fairway, mid-range, and putter.
Where's that at?
It's way up. I'm above where you were a second ago. I'll get down to where you were a second
So
ago.
what was it? Distance driver,
Fairway, mid-range, and putter.
So distance driver is going to be the Renegade.
Yep.
Well, it depends on the wind.
That's right.
If there's a little bit of wind, I've got to grab the Trespass.
Yep.
Because the Renegade is going to flip just a little bit too much for me. Fairway driver, it's got to be the Maverick.
Yep.
Now, I do have a Maverick that I've had for a while, hand-eye stamp, that even Eric Oakley, when we played, he was like, man, you throw that thing good. I just do. That Maverick just throws really good. But if I need a little more stability on a Maverick throw, I'm grabbing a Lucid one that Robert gave me that was too understable for him, but good for me. And I want to try the Maverick X.
Listed X Maverick?
Yeah.
You'd like it.
To see if it's just, it got a little bit more of that stability to it.
Definitely does.
Mid-range is going to depends on the situation. I have a pre-EMAC or pre-Sweden Truth that I really like the flight of. It's my tie-dye America. But if I'm doing an approach shot and I don't want to make a big mistake with it by going too far past the basket, I grab my Suspect. And
There
then
you go.
my putter of choice is the Deputy for that straight shot.
Yes.
And it's very good for a little more. If it's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, I can still kind of give it a little oomph, and it will go straight.
Yeah. This is a good question. Jordan says, I've read several different sources and I've heard several different tales. Is Circle 1 30 or 33 feet for jump putting? Okay, Jordan. Circle 1 is 10 meters. And so 10 meters, thanks to the internet, is 32.8 feet. So right around 32 feet, 10 inches. 33 feet is pretty safe. It is not 30 feet. And I think when people step off 10 paces, unless they've measured out, unless they've measured out their steps, they're often still going to be putting inside the circle. So I always do 11 pretty big steps just to be safe. But most of the time I don't jump from 35 anyway.
Right.
But yeah, 32 feet, 10 inches or so within an inch is about
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take. Because we are here on Disc Golf Answer Man. All right, let's work back down to the questions where you were, Bobby. And the next one.
Steve wants to give a shout out to Matt Lloyd. Went to the NWA Northwest Arkansas DD store and got one lesson from him, and I have increased my backhand distance by 50 to 75 feet.
Let's go.
Added power is now turning all current discs over. Nice.
Well, here's the problem is, how did Matt teach you to throw 50 to 75 extra feet when he doesn't even throw 50 to 75 feet himself? Total.
Burn. Hopefully he's not listening.
Just kidding. I really like Matt. He's a cool cat.
Should step putts be outlawed? Hard to judge a foot fault at real-time opinions.
I don't think they should be outlawed, but I think they should. I think it's the responsibility of the player to make sure that they're doing them correctly. Like the one that I guess Jomez shared the other day on YouTube, kind of that GIF of the person step putting where it's pretty clear that his back foot was up.
Yeah.
Or his plant foot was up. I mean, I probably would have called that one. Because that's
It's
like
so
a
hard
super
to tell,
lunge.
I mean, that's the problem. It's hard to tell. Like every single one of Yuli's looks illegal until you slow it down.
Yeah, and then it's good.
And it's solid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's until we can have video evidence in our sport.
Which I think is so. Part of the problem is that when you're out playing, you typically have your cards. You're going to have three to four other people, depending on if you have a 4-card, 5-card, other people watching, right? They're not always going to be. Now I get it. The PDJ says that the players are supposed to watch each other players because we're governing each other.
Yep.
But the thing is, they're not always going to be watching you so intently. They're going to be thinking about their shot. They're going to be either upset about the shot they just threw, or they're
going to be thinking about their own game.
Their own game. But what's happening is that because it's video, you've got thousands of people watching it, and then you have these armchair referees, and I just don't think you have. I don't think because we have 1,000 people watching and judging after the fact that all of a sudden they need to rule out the step putt.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
and you can't use the video evidence unless everybody has it. Like that, because then you're either at an advantage or disadvantage by being on camera.
Yeah, I'm really
bad.
Yeah, the we should use video evidence as a way is getting kind of a tired argument.
Yeah, it's unfair to the top
it's
guys.
unfair to the guys that
and girls
that are on video, I guess you would say.
All right, let's keep it moving. I see some people talking about people keeping score on the scorecard throughout the round and whether it's required for each person to carry the card throughout the round. It is not required for each person to carry it if all competitors agree for one person to keep the score. So if the three of us went out to play and Bobby said, "Hey guys, I'll just go ahead and keep score for us the whole time. Is that okay?" And Eric and I both said yes, he could keep the score the whole time and it would be fine. But if everyone does not agree, then it should be spaced out evenly between players, or at least as close to evenly as you can. So,
have you ever had that asked of a cat? Like sometimes they'll say, "Hey, my cat
yeah.
is gonna." But have you ever thought? Paused and thought?
I've never really thought. Well, I don't know if I trust this guy. If that's the case, then what I would do is just keep my score, keep my own score as well.
Yeah.
That way I can at the end be like, no, I didn't shoot that. This is what I shot.
Right.
And then we can go back through the round if need be.
Yeah. I haven't ever had one where I thought, man, that doesn't seem trustworthy. But if I did, I'd just say, I just prefer to pass the scorecard around, which I do. I don't mind having the scorecard for a few holes. If somebody wants to keep it on their own most of the time, I'm
that's
good
what I really like about the USCGC scoring.
Yeah, I agree.
Is I keep your score, you keep Bobby's, Bobby keeps mine, and you keep your own at the bottom.
Yep.
There's no way around that, it's just the way it should be, I feel.
Yep.
That way everybody's keeping score. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, for sure. Maverick X is so good. That is correct, Thomas. We like that.
Manager said should be able to get him in here. But someone's asked. Question part 2: will there be other runs of Lucid runs in the near future in case Dick's Sporting Goods lets me down?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's not going to be. Yeah.
They're coming out.
Yeah, they won't just be at Dick's Sporting Goods forever.
Yeah, it's not like we're only giving them the Dick's Sporting Goods.
Chase asked if there's a list of the 50 stores. I don't think
there is.
Is there a list?
Yeah, Jamie shared it.
Okay, with us or
he shared it on that on a page on the Latitude fan page, Latitude Dynamic Disc Westside fan page.
That's good.
Of all the Dick's Sporting Goods that have our product.
We got any other questions? Look like we're kind of running low on questions. Being that I'm a total noob to tourneys, I didn't want to be some sort of jerk and call foot faults if nobody else was. But I saw someone step clearly on a mini a couple times.
I think it's your responsibility to call the rules if you see them.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. If
would you consider it you're cheating if you're not calling the rules?
Yeah, of course. It's the same thing. For me, if somebody steps on their mini and it's like it's very, very obviously unintentional and it's maybe just the very corner or something and like they slipped or something like that, I'm not going to call that.
I'll be honest. I'm not watching your feet.
Yeah, for sure. But if I see it, I'll usually go to the person and say, hey, just by the way, just so you know, you're stepping on the edge of your mini. I'm not like trying to watch like a hawk, but it's just something to be aware of, right?
Yeah.
But if they're kind of going out of their way to not pay attention to where their feet are. Like I've played with somebody who, no matter what the shot was, could be, up to a foot off to either side of their mini. I'm going to watch their feet 100%. Because whether they're trying to gain an advantage or not is irrelevant. They aren't following the rule that everyone else has to follow. Yeah, I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago. If you're a foot off of your mini on a 400-foot wide open shot, does that make a difference? Well, distance-wise, no, it's an extremely negligible difference. But the fact that you don't have to think about your feet, that you can just do whatever you want to, that does make a big difference.
Yep.
That's what I think about that.
Chaser wants to know.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Tandui says, I don't have enough money to test out many discs. I would like to. Any tips on trying discs with a budget?
Find a buyback store.
Boy, do we have a program for you.
The buyback program.
Yeah. How does that work?
You buy it and you can bring it back.
Yeah, 14
That's
days.
it.
You have to buy a disc from Dynamic Disc, Westside Discs, or Latitude 64. You have 14 days to try it out. Obviously, do not mark on the disc. Save your receipt or whatever the specific store has their rules, but you can bring it back if you don't like it.
Make sure that you are at a buyback retailer before you go.
Yes, you
and
can't
do
just
this,
do it
too.
anywhere.
You can't just do it at any store that
You
sells
got to
our
make sure it's a
products.
buyback store, and then if you don't like it, you can bring it back, and you can either return it for another one from us or from anybody else.
Yeah, that's right. Chaser says, will your next in the bag be your truck?
Sure.
Sick. Be in your truck. There we go.
Could do that. I'm still waiting for Anthony to go out with me.
Yeah.
In the boat and do a in the boat.
In the boat, in the bag?
In the bag.
Oh, here
in
we
the
go,
boat.
EMAC. You can kind of keep it real. This is good. Seems like
All right.
positive feedback for the Emporia Country Club changes
Sweet.
at GBO.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Positive?
Yeah.
Positive are my thoughts.
Do you want to speak on any of the criticism?
I do. I absolutely.
I
Because
mean,
there's tons of criticism
Sure.
online, and that
comes
that's
when
what
you-
online is. That's
Right.
what the internet is.
Sure.
Is people giving their 2 cents. But what kills me is every time I read anything online about negativity about the event or the course, is it's just boring open hyzers. There's just wide open blah blah blah.
Come play.
One, it's not, and two, if I could have a championship style course in the woods in Emporia, Kansas, you can't tell me you don't think I would.
100%. You better believe we would have that.
We absolutely would. So we work with what we got, and we do a damn good job at what we do. And that course is no joke.
It's not. Yeah.
It is probably the hardest course on tour, is what I've been told from a lot of the touring players. Now, here's the thing. Everybody I talked to, I mean, there was probably 1 or 2 exceptions, but every top touring player I talked to, one of them even told me that the course is in their top 10.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Everybody loved the course. They loved the layout. They loved the format. They loved everything about it. And then you have people at home, the viewers. I mean, what do? Do you make the viewer happy and kind of piss off the touring player by putting him on Jones East?
Probably not.
But Jones East is not a championship level course.
Yep.
I don't believe that it is. You could stretch it out as far as you can, then you have other issues to worry about. But Jones Gold, absolutely.
Yeah, it's great.
That would be an awesome course to play. But we do Jones Gold, we lose 2 courses. We lose 2 quality courses. And the venue itself out at the country club is just spectacular. It's amazing. It's what the players want. And I'm sorry if it's not what maybe a few viewers want to see.
Sure.
But the views on the videos would kind of alter what.
Beg to differ.
Yeah. So I thought it was great. I'm stoked with how it came out.
Yeah.
And we'll make a few changes next year.
Of course. What were you about to say, Anthony?
Okay.
We're gonna make GBO 5 rounds next year.
5 rounds.
5
next
round
year?
GBO.
Okay.
1 is Jones Gold.
Okay.
Jones Gold.
2, 3, and 4 is when all the AMs play.
Nice. Okay.
And round 5 is the finale at Country Club.
Perfect.
Sick.
It's gonna be Tuesday to Saturday.
Man.
You guys ready to come in on?
Let's do
on
this.
Saturday to start your practice rounds.
Let's do this.
One of the things that bothers me about people who complain about Emporia Country Club and be like, oh, this is boring hyzer golf. Like, have you ever played here?
No.
If you haven't, you truly don't understand how difficult it is.
Yeah.
Because it looks like hole 2 is a great example. All right, we got a new tee off to the right a little bit more, and it looks like, oh, this is just a nice little controlled turnover. You throw it about 350, and then you got another shot just like that up to the pin.
Not so much.
Not so much. Like, you have to hold it on anhyzer all the way with OB to the right and to the left. It can't be on too much anhyzer because it could cut roll back out of bounds left, which I saw happen all the time. And then your second shot is super technical because the green runs away from the player.
Yep.
You have to crest a hill and then land softly after that. And so whether you want to believe it or not, there is so much more technical to this course than meets the eye. And you can only understand that once you stand on that hole.
Exactly.
Like hole 10. People are just like, it's a 390-foot shot downhill. Hole 10 is not a joke, man. In dead wind, I'm excited to get birdie. In any other sort of wind, I'm like, dude, 3's good.
3's solid. Because if you throw
I kept it in
anything-
bounds.
If you throw anything with just like a slight hyzer, even, you're probably going OB.
Yep.
I
And
mean,
if you force it over like you want to, it's super easy to go OB
probably
right.
going OB.
It's
So,
freaking
yeah.
hard.
Someone had a question about where we said you can't use video for evidence. Someone said, "What about photos? Why can't we take photos?"
Kind of the same thing, right?
Similar, in the sense that you would think everybody has a phone that can take pictures, right?
But I'm not just going to
but
sit
not-
there and take pictures
right.
of everybody I'm playing.
Not everybody.
against either.
They may not have pictures, or they may not have. Plus, you can manipulate. You can exaggerate, or you can not on purpose. You can kind of affect the way an angle looks.
Sure.
And it'll look much different. So you
Yeah.
definitely just have to be there.
Right. Danny, were you about to say something as well? Oh, yeah. Brian Earhart aced hole 10, so it must be easy. It must be a really easy hole.
Yeah. And he aced hole 13 as well, or
12.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sick, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, this
yeah.
is true. So Mr. Drew on the board says the tight fairways and elevation at ECC don't show up well on camera.
That's
That
true.
is true.
That is absolutely
Standing
true.
on some of those shots, they are much more up or downhill than you think.
It is honestly a lot, and I'm not comparing the two, obviously. But if you've never been to Augusta for
Right.
the Masters, that place is ridiculous elevation, and you do not see that on camera.
Super hilly. Ryan Pilcher here says, what about bring back Olpe? What are your thoughts on that?
I enjoy Olpe. The players, when they played out there, did not enjoy Olpe at all.
Correct.
The drive out there, they didn't like it. They didn't like the thought of losing discs.
And there's a lot
There's
of
a lot
freaking
of
places to
opportunity
do
lose
it.
I enjoy it. I like the course.
Yep.
I think, honestly, I'll be honest, hole 3 at Olpe is probably the best hole in Kansas.
Yeah, it's
I
a
think
really
it
good
is
hole.
one of the best designed holes in Kansas. I didn't design it. Mike Smith and Charles Harper, I believe, designed that course. But it is an amazing hole. But the pros didn't care for it. When it's windy in town, it's ridiculous out there. When
Right.
it's not windy in town, it's ridiculous out there. So a lot of players don't like that aspect of it. I don't know. I don't know if I would consider. Would you consider Olpe a true championship course? When it maybe when it's stretched all the way out, it is, but
Yeah.
not like the Country Club is.
No, when it's all the way stretched, yeah, it's championship level. It's really hard. But it's just like in the gale force winds that we can get. If we had the winds that we had on Thursday and Saturday at GBO at
Olpe.
Olpe, we're dead.
Yeah.
Everybody's over par. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are losing their most overstable discs.
Well,
so then they're just
and to be fair, people did have to play Olpe in those wins.
right. It just was.
But they
on
played
camera.
short tees too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a tough hole. It's a tough course, man. Plain and simple.
So something I want to get to that I've seen a couple times is people thought because you played the so many rounds at the same course, and then of course you had, in a sense, you had 5 productions going on the same course, as far as post-produced and live. I think I can get that. Some people said they got course fatigue because they're watching the same course
Yeah, of
over and over again,
course.
and I get that.
I understand that.
But the thing is, then I don't know that I would have to say, were you paying a lot of attention, because there was a lot of changes in who was in the lead, and then even down to the last round.
how much excitement was it coming down the stretch
came
for
down to
both?
the last?
in-
I know for
MPO and
both
FPO.
divisions. So to me, that was part of the storyline. As though even though they may have been playing, I personally like to see. In fact, I even had UDisc up, and if I saw someone throw a shot and they throw a good shot, I'd be like, oh, I wonder what they did the last couple of days. So I'd go look
Right.
at their
Yeah, go
score
look
and
at
say,
their score.
oh, they improved, or man,
Yeah.
they just
Man.
got a 5 and they got a 3 on day 1. Come on, what's going on there? So and so, what do you got going on? So it's almost like you have to. There's still a storyline to
There's
be
a
told there.
great storyline to be
Yeah.
told. Plus, I'll be honest with you, the touring players do not want to come to town and have to practice multiple courses.
Right.
They want to dial in one. Maybe we could change up a couple pin placements here and there, but I don't even care for that, to be honest with you.
Right.
I like this is what you're playing. Cream rises to the top, so to speak, and by the end of the week, you should have everything dialed in on knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, I think so.
Real quick, someone says, if I have a dispute on a card, on a call or a lie, can I call provisional and take a photo for the TD?
No.
You cannot do that. Danny mentioned you can take a picture describing the location, but I just want to make sure, because we had talked about this for our audio listeners, that you cannot use the image or the photo
to make
for
a call.
To make the actual call.
But you can do it to show where on the course you're talking
I was at
about.
hole 5 right here in that corner, or this is the tree we're talking about, or this is where the OB line, but they can't be used to make the call.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good question. Tim says, can you explain why you don't paint the island on hole 16?
First, explain why he would ask that. Maybe the...
Oh, yeah, it was unpainted this year, as it was last year. And there were just some questionable OB calls, or I guess hotly contested OB calls. So
I'll be honest, though, the one with Katrina, in by a mile.
Sure.
I saw it on video and knew that was in by a mile.
Sure.
And had we painted that island, that probably would have been OB.
Mm-hmm. Same
it goes both ways. I get that you're trying to make calls, but that island is small enough, and we have actually, Doug, Rusko, and I have sat down and gone back and forth with this topic forever, deciding, do we want to paint the island? Do we not want to paint the island? We decided not to paint the island because we wanted to give the players the opportunity to make those calls,
right,
and give the benefit of the doubt to the player, as where if you skip up, I mean, the shot on that hole, I'll be honest, if it's windy, the shot on that hole, if you're going for it, is skip off the water.
It really is.
And skip off, pop up, and hit up. And I don't want to see somebody skip, hit, kick back, and barely be inbounds, and that's out of bounds. I'm touching in bounds when I'm out of bounds. You'll get that call. People are going to complain about that. Players are going to complain about that more so than being barely in and not getting the call.
Yeah.
So that was the reason we don't put stakes around it, because I don't want to see somebody skip into it. But we've talked about next year already, and we're talking to the country club about potentially doing a couple different changes to the island. I don't know what they're going to say about it or not, but I'm excited for those changes, and that's kind of the reasoning why. Another reason, you paint a line and we get a bunch of rain, the water levels can move.
Yep.
And there would be nothing worse to me than having a painted line and then the water goes up or the water goes down. The water goes up, the line is wasted. That was wasted time and effort put into it. And if the water goes down, then you've got more real estate that is now out of bounds.
Right.
So that's kind of the reasoning behind why we didn't do it. And honestly, we've been playing tournaments at this place for years, and there's really only been one, maybe two calls that were struggles. You know what I mean? That could have affected the outcome.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
some of the island stuff that we've been talking about, I think, could be really super cool.
Yeah,
we don't know what it's going to be just yet.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Stay
if
tuned.
it goes through. Oh my gosh.
Well, and I just saw Mike on here said Outlaw Islands, they're stupid. I mean, I disagree entirely. I think the island hole at Emporia Country Club is the signature hole of that course, and one of the holes that people think about, like when you talk about big tournaments throughout the year. This is one of those iconic holes. It's like I think of the island hole when I walked up to hole 17 at USDGC. I mean, it has a lot more history and everything like that. But I felt the same standing up there. Like this is a shot I should be able to hit every time. But now that I'm here, my heart is pounding out of my chest. It just changes everything.
Now, Mike, I'll agree with you. I hate islands. And I'm not picking on USDGC by any means, but hole number 17 at USDGC, one thing I really dislike about that hole is the stroke and distance.
Rethrow.
I don't like that at all. I like the idea of you throw, you go OB, you go to a drop zone.
Yep.
You can still get up and down for your bogey. You're not losing the tournament on one hole.
Yep. In my first round of USDGC last year, I was 4 under course par going into that hole, and I felt like I was playing great. Yeah, I was playing awesome. And took an 8 through one disc that hit by the pin and skipped into the water, just barely. Hit through one that hit the top of the hay bales and stayed off. And my head was spinning at that point, just chunked it into the water. Didn't make it from the drop zone from 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I went from 4 under to 1 over.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean,
going into the last hole too, you're all deflated and just.
Yeah, it was rough, man.
But I'll tell you right now, that island is not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's a great hole.
It's been deemed from a lot of the touring players as the best island hole in disc golf too. So I mean, why would we take that away from them?
He said, "I did not mean a natural island, but man-made islands, hay bales, etc."
Okay,
I could see that. I mean, I still like those because usually they're close enough and accessible enough that it's just a test. Like,
if done right, I like them.
Normally
I'm
you would
okay with
execute
it.
this every time, but now that this extra element of challenge is here, how are you going to respond to it? I
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So another thing that came up, I don't think we talked about it last week, was the was it hole 15 in particular, where the wall, the
14?
DD wall,
Oh.
the 14, where the DD wall protected the greens, but
There's
the
a couple
OB
of them that
line
did.
was
was off of them.
Off of them. So I don't know if I explained that very well, but so the greens, we want to protect because it's a golf course.
So-
We want to protect the greens from people walking on it. So
Yep.
we put a wall to kind of prevent people from walking on it.
Or pushing their cart across them, which I saw happen.
And but the actual OB line that's painted and had little flags was about a foot or so
It
off
was more
of
than
those.
that.
Was it more?
Yeah, there was more than that. A few areas.
Okay.
Areas, it was like a couple meters.
Correct.
So like 6
and
feet or so.
When I was out taking pictures of photos, I heard a couple people when they throw, they'd go, "Why is that not? Why is the wall? Why is that OB?" And my immediate thought was, "What was it when you practiced?"
Yeah,
That's what it was.
You're exactly right.
That's it's like.
And what's different about it, what I think these players were wondering about, is because the Pro Tour, that is their OB line.
Yeah.
That is what they use. We chose not to do it that way for two reasons. Bobby mentioned the majority of those walls are up to keep people from walking on the greens and injuring the greens or whatever you want to say. The OB line, if it's a wall, that's not a consistent line like a painted line is. And as windy as it got out there that one day, how many of those did you see bending?
Right.
You know, I mean, disc can go through it. You could have one guy go through the wall and the next guy hit the same spot and not, you know. So to keep it consistent, I think it made sense to not keep it on the wall. And I actually asked Macbeth what his thoughts were, because I heard a couple players at the end talking about it. And there was a couple players that said they liked it, a couple that said they didn't like it, whatever. And I asked Paul, and Paul said he prefers it that way, just maybe put a higher rope up so you can have a better visual of where the OB is. But he prefers it that way because, like on 18, for instance, it makes that green a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you throw a slower disc into it as opposed to just skip into the wall. Okay, I'm safe. Take my meter.
Yep.
You know, so
That was my thing, was when I heard people complain about it. It's like, that's the way it was from day one when you practice it. So did you not practice your shot not to go OB?
Mm-hmm.
You just so happen to throw OB on the day of competition, and that happens.
It
So
does happen.
Don't blame the wall not being the OB marker because we didn't change it last day or anything like that.
Yeah. Tim brings up a good point that I really like. He said 16 to 18 has to be in the back of every player's mind when you're playing ECC.
Yeah.
And I love courses like that because anything could happen. And it
did.
Right. And it's not like a fluky anything. It's like, hey, man, it's time to execute.
Mm-hmm.
The people who played those holes well generally played well on the weekend.
Yep.
You know, so
Well, it's
I
like
love stuff
Multi-World
like that.
put out that article about the two hardest holes on the course, how Macbeth played those holes better than anybody.
Yeah, 8 and 17.
Or 8, 9, 17 maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are the three definitely most difficult holes on that course.
Yeah. 8, he's shredded.
17 really surprised me.
Me too.
That was one of the hardest. It was the hardest hole day one, which surprised me.
I think so. If more people would just on something like that. Okay, last time I played on Monday after GBO.
Okay,
pretty windy.
Thanks for the invite, but
18ish,
go on.
18ish miles an hour. Throw
I didn't get mine either.
bad.
What's that?
Sorry, guys. Bad drive.
Mm-hmm.
Just played up.
Hey, Eric, you want to go play?
Tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just me and you.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, can I join you?
Yeah, we're playing Pan.
We'll see on the 9th hole at 9. Then just played like straight up the left side, pitch over
Pin high.
4.
Yeah.
I saw almost nobody do that because every person thinks
Got aggressive.
this isn't that hard of a shot. And that OB on the right side is super punishing. Super punishing.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we saw such high scores is everyone thinks I have to birdie everything when in reality, had you shot 4 under for every round, you'd have tied for the win.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts?
Just 4 under.
16 under won the tournament.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Granted, there was a little bit, the wind can play and a
Sure.
little bit of that. But even on the calm days, what was the hot 11?
The 11 was the best, and that was the only double digits.
Was smoking.
That's incredible.
hot. Yeah.
And that was the only double digits on the weekend.
And there was 2 pretty windy days, but there was 2 really
good scoring conditions
scoreable days.
Yep.
For sure.
There's one other thing. Had you shot even every round, just even, you'd have
Like
finished
10-20?
Yeah, no, tied for 11th. Yeah, something like that.
Like 10-20 maybe.
Yes.
Maybe north of that.
It's
I know
crazy.
the final round they're like 3 up was like 1,010
Yeah.
or something like that. Something crazy.
Correct.
So a perfect segue. Marvel just announced. Let's
get it.
I just saw they announced that 8 more movies in the Phase 4 of Marvel Universe.
The Marvel universe, though, not the Avenger universe.
Correct. Yeah.
So like
So
X-Men's are coming. Yeah.
Right. It's called Marvel. Marvel. Something. MCU. What's MC?
Okay.
Marvel Comics Universe. Phase 4 release dates for 8 movies through 2020.
Did they have the list of the movies or just?
They don't, not the name, just the dates. They will.
Nice.
They're not ready to
I know that
reveal what the
new-
plan is.
The
for
new
those.
X-Men that's coming out looks amazing.
New X-Men.
There's a new X-Men coming out.
I didn't see that.
Yep.
I thought MCU was Marvel Comics University.
It's a college that you
yes,
can go
where
to.
you can get your degree in Marvel Comics.
In mutants.
Yes, mutants. Marty Smith says, at least there was no rain or snow. No friggin' joke, Marty.
Yep.
We were so stoked about the
We
weather.
were blessed with the weather.
Okay, it's windy. Welcome to Kansas. It's
Yep.
always windy here.
Yep.
But to have 2 scoreable days and then 2 windy days, I think it was a perfect test, and it was plenty warm enough.
Yeah. And for me playing MP40, I only had 1 day of bad wind.
Yep.
That was nice.
Yep.
Well, it was interesting
that's
on
crazy.
Monday.
I'm sorry. Caleb Starr, this is right. I hadn't thought about this. Eagle got to 15 under in 2 rounds and then stayed there for the next 2 rounds.
Oh, yeah.
He went 7-8
Mhm.
and was leading after 2 by 3
Wow.
and shot even the rest of the tournament to finish in second.
Marvel
Second.
Cinematic.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he finished.
The
in second.
C
Yeah,
stands
tied
for
second.
Cinematic.
Oh.
Universe. So
Or University.
Universe.
Oh, itty.
No, I thought it was interesting. The Monday after GBO week, it was raining, and I don't think any of us were disappointed. We're like, "That's fine, rain all you want."
Bring it.
We're just
It
glad it
rained
wasn't last
so
week.
bad
I
that
know.
Pan flooded.
Yeah,
Peter Pan flooded that next week.
Bad.
Yes.
Really bad.
Yeah. Like GBO 2016.
Yeah, that was rough, man.
That's why we don't play. That's why we don't put the pros at Pan.
All right.
Correct.
We'll bring the majors. Will the bring majors to Cali?
Will they bring majors to Cali?
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be another major in Cali.
There's
at
been a
some
major.
point.
There's been a few of them.
Yeah.
In the last few years.
Right. Doss's World Championships, the last one I can think of.
2011 was it? Well, I guess if you're counting like Tim Selinsky.
Yeah, right.
Those majors as well, but. No, 2011 Worlds was at De La.
Yes.
2014 was in Des Moines. Or no, sorry, Portland. That's what I was trying to say.
How do you throw an Anheuser shot that stays low, less than 12 feet, but travels far and right, then flexes to flat before hitting the ground? I always have to throw too high to work in the woods.
It's all about nose angle, right? If you're counting on getting a flex, then you really have to have that nose angle down so that it can stay level to the ground. If
Super overstable on a punishing line too.
Right. If it's nose up, I mean, it's just gonna fade out.
Or
That's
you
all there
do
is
it
to
with a forehand.
Or you throw a forehand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keystones, when were they released besides the match play ones? I would say soon
Trilogy
after.
Challenge. After Trilogy
Oh,
Challenge.
Trilogy Challenge and after, yeah.
So probably
those feel really nice too.
October,
the,
November.
The
They
retro.
They really do.
Keystones. Those feel really nice.
Who's been throwing them a lot? Was it Emerson?
Emerson is putting with them, yeah.
Oh, he's putting with them.
Uh-huh.
I thought Johnny McRae was too. I thought I saw
he
him.
has one in his bag, yeah. Have you watched Utah Open at all?
I watched it last night.
Have you? So
it blew my mind.
Ryan
like that
says,
course. I had
Why? Well, what's the big deal? I've seen other people comment on it.
Yeah, he's just asking what's your thought on the new course, the Fort?
Like
I
bad?
haven't
below
seen
your mind,
I
or-
haven't seen any of it.
I don't. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Can we hit the?
Keep it real.
No, we don't need to.
Okay, never mind.
Oh man.
It was
Let's hear it for you.
It was unique. It wasn't anything like I was, because last year it was like on a golf course, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I was expecting going into it. But it was like hole 1 is 270 foot through the woods, tight, low shot.
Sweet.
Hole 2 is like 175 foot across a lake or
What?
across a river. It was not what I expected. There's a couple really just epic holes, like 16. There's an island hole. I think it's 17. Big downhill shot to an island that's right by the river. Pretty cool. I mean, there's some really cool holes, but it was very like kind of weird, woodsy, fluky shots. But it's very old school is what it reminded me of, like old school golf where you'll be throwing like probably a lot of mid ranges and whatnot. But you should definitely go watch the video. Perkins, I thought Perkins did a great job with Jerem commentating on it, but it was not what I expected. Not what I expected at all. Like I was going into it expecting when Denise said, "Hey, you want to watch the Utah Open?" I'm like, "Sure, let's watch it."
Yeah, it's a cool golf course.
And I was like, "Whoa, what's going on? What is this?
Yeah,
this is
different.
weird."
Really?
Yeah, no idea that
Now
was.
I gotta
what's
go
on.
watch it.
And now they're Worlds is there next year. Are they playing that course in Worlds?
That's one of them, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of touring pros say something about that.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that it's
not good.
No. I mean, I think I saw Macbeth say something about, he was talking to Jade Sewell, who's the TD at Utah Open. Hey, I know you're one of the hardest working people in disc golf. I think this course needs some changes before it's ready for Worlds.
Yeah,
Something
I would
like
agree
that,
with Paul in that. I think it looked fun. It looked like a fun course.
Yeah.
Not a
true test of the world's best course.
Yeah. Thank you.
What is it? It feels like a zone that has similar stability, but that's not a harp. He doesn't like how deep the harp feels.
Lucid Slammer or Anvil. Anvil.
Yeah, the Anvil is wider. It's more like a mid-range, but I think stability-wise and feel-wise, it's probably pretty good. Pretty good. That's about it, man.
All right, I think we're good, guys. Thanks so much for joining us on the after show. We appreciate you.
Yes, and thanks.
Yeah, thanks. So we'll see you next week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Get some disc golf in. Stay safe in the storms. We got storms coming in for you.
Yeah, check out if the Marvel Cinematic University is offering your degree of choice.
And hopefully
consider enrolling today.
I am interested.
Hopefully, if your friends or coworkers go play disc golf, they'll invite you. I mean, just be cool like that. So, all right, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much.
Bye.